so once again, guys, what's up? 1v1 on Arena, Stark versus Metal, round number 1, best of 5. And once again, let's start with Metal on the right-hand side of this map. Right away, stone on the front. Second stone on the back. First and second gold on the back, an additional gold pile over there. This is really nice. It's not the biggest map to the back. There's a little bit of space that he has. The wood line's also, well, quite little. I mean, it's fine, it's fine. Also, especially the one in the north, there's a proper wood line here for arena standards. Looks okay. Definitely fine. Just have a look at what they say here. You have a delay. You have 0 delay on your stream. Oh, that is just... I don't think that Stark has 0 delay on his stream. I simply don't think that.
Yes.
Well, interesting. This conversation between these two specific people, it's gonna be perfect. So like I've said, Metal Space looks just good. Pretty good. On the left hand side we got Stark, and looking at his base, I'm trying to ignore what they say for now because it's kind of hard to focus otherwise. Gold in the front, I don't like. Oh, stone in the front as well, both stones. And yeah, gold in the back here. But other than that, this is pretty much a bad map here for Stark at least. He called it a rematch a minute or two ago, so I guess he doesn't have a left. Therefore, not in the best situation. It's students versus Ethiopians, like I've mentioned. The choice for Ethiopians is actually quite interesting. Probably going to see something more aggressive gameplay-wise from Stark. It could even be that he goes for Blacksmith and Arch range, and probably click up to Castle as soon as possible to Siege Tower Hub, maybe even to go inside with crossbows, because why not? With the students, I will just remain silent here. I know that they're quite strong, especially on Arena as well. The late game they can be quite strong, due to the fact that they are extremely good against smushes. There's a rule, an unwritten rule that they say don't smush versus students, as they have better conversion resistance. And therefore, it could be a tricky one, but don't think that Stark is going to smash. I mean, that he had the intention to smash anyway, so let's see about this one. Looking at the rest here, relic-wise, we see that at least two relics are in favor for Stark position-wise. This one is rather neutral. On the right-hand side, we got this one close to the base of Metal, though the distance is even larger due to the fact that the gate is here, and not something like this here. This tier patch, I guess this was what Stark was talking about, is bugged, and I am not sure about the rules. This is not my tournament. Stark has communicated this in his own language, with his own word register, so to speak, by saying "nice deer." Metal should be aware of this, right? Let me see. No, he's not aware of this. Well, I'm not gonna say anything here, because I don't want to interfere, but actually this is definitely bugged here. Now, he'll find out right now. Yeah, okay. Man, this is a huge impact on his economy here, for sure. We're talking about Arena, this is not... yeah, fuck. Why? Yeah, oh my god. Okay. I'll just write Metal right away. I won't write him that this deer is bugged, but alright. Well, sorry about this, Metal. If you ever gonna watch this VOD, I am sorry. I literally realized this right now. And therefore, oh well. I mean, the thing is, Metal still could have called it here. Anyway. Next time we'll pay attention. Properly here. Gotta say, I'm sorry for Metal here, but I literally just realized it now. Okay, so what can we tell here right away? Stark is clicking up 24 villagers that he has. He's gonna add 2 more to click up. And then, let's see.
Yes.
For Metal, it's gonna be 26 villagers, so 27 plus something something. Should ban them both for casting these games. Metal man, don't be so rude, man. I even apologize, man. Come on, bro. Don't do this to us. Damn, ice conflict, that's for sure. Alright. So, I mean, I can still talk about this conflict because nothing much is happening here. We can see that both players are just going for the fast castle. And it's not like I'm gonna miss out some action here. And other than that, it's just also interesting to point out that these scouts are not attacking each other. Nothing much happening here, that's for sure. Stark clicking up now. As expected, he's going to be in Castle Age earlier. And then, I'm curious what we're about to see. You also have to keep in mind, Ethiopians have this little boost that they get extra resources once they click up. Once they reach the age, I mean. Therefore, of course, this can have a little boost on his, let's say, anything that is involving archers or something like that. Archers. I'm gold units like archers. There we go. Weird visual mod. Why so? I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really, really beautiful. Sorry that I don't look like a generic Age of Empires 2 streamer, man. Man, Metal is still not done with this. This is just wow. But I guess that is to be expected. Alright. Okay. So what is the next move? Also, we have to keep in mind that the amount of TCs, of course, is important to define what's going to take place. We can see here, a second TC is incoming. A third TC could be also incoming really fast. Especially if he still wants to go for archers or something like that, why not? That is still possible. We're not talking about knights or something like that. Could be different for Metal here, sorry. Let's see about this. Let's see about this. Second TC incoming. Both are going for Bolsa. This is really important. Also interesting to see, guys, that is from arena players, like top arena players, let's say, for instance, Metal, we can see some nice showcase of how to actually macro. What kind of text to go for, and it's of course common sense for other 2K players who are mostly known for playing on Arabia or full random, like Stark, that they know as well. But even, let's say, 2K or lower arena players, they know as well, at least how to macro in the mid-late game. And of course, it's really important to point out that going for Bowsaw is way more important than going for Heavy Plow, for instance. Heavy Plow, even some kind of downgrade for your eco in the beginning, it'll just balance out way later. And with Bowsaw, you have a direct impact on your, I mean, a positive impact on your economy. So we see a double monastery incoming, because why not? If you can't be smushed, Why don't you go for a smash? This though is quite of a defensive one, I gotta say. Not defensive in a way that he is being pressured and then he needs to do something against an incoming threat because there's nothing. It's just that these monsters are simply inside, and both had their scouts alive. As I've pointed out, there hasn't been a conflict between those scouts. And therefore, I'm just curious what Metal's gonna do. I mean, of course, why not going for the relics as soon as possible? With this scout out, of course, he has a little bodyguard, and with his kind of map knowledge that he has, he should be... let's switch the position here. Alright, there we go. He should be aware of the fact that there's no huge threats. There's no, let's say, siege workshop or a barracks with spearmen or a couple of scouts or something like that. Therefore, he can just go outside. But we can see it here. This could be... Oh, alright. This was actually a tight situation there for Metal, but at least he managed to get one scout. One monk bit the dust there. Unfortunate. 100 gold. Alright, so speaking of siege workshops, they're now coming in. For Metal, it's quite understandable. Siege and monks, that makes just sense. For Stark, I am not sure. I gotta say, he clicked up quite early there. Of course, he can afford that, as with the Ethiopians, he get this resource bonus. Still, he just went for the boom now. And I think he could have maybe waited for more, to have more villages there. Well, we'll see how this one would turn out. So both guys have 3 TCs. Let's have a look at the villagers on gold here for Metal. That's quite significant. Yeah, producing more monks. What about a siege workshop? Mangonel. Ooh, that's a nice siege workshop. That's a nice siege workshop, man. A bit too big, I guess. I had the same thought about the Mayans and their archer range. The hate is just a bit too much, maybe. Well, otherwise, nice visual mod there for sure. Alright, so meanwhile, at the same time, I'd like to point out that Metal is now attempting to go in, or at least something like that. He now managed to push away Stark's villagers there. They're now retreating, going for the safer gold pile. Like I've said, the problem for Stark is going to be the access to resources. He has the safe gold in the back, that's for sure. He also has quite a bit of space in order to retreat for now, but it won't be a good idea just to simply sit there. With 4 of those tiles of gold, it's not going to be a safe zone for a long time. He will be forced to get his hands on these other resources. It could be maybe also a wrong thing not to go for stone as soon as possible. Maybe defensively speaking, a castle or so could help, but with a smush, let's see how Stark will deal with it. What we can say about Stark is that he is actually able to fight on Arena. I think he's an extremely versatile player. And yeah, wait a second there. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, just a second, guys. Well, I mean, I'll just show you this one here. As you can hear, I just minimized Age of Empires here for a second. Alright. Yeah, and interesting, both are going for Imperial Age as soon as possible. I'm really curious about Stark's next move here. Really, and that kind of defensive stance that he is for now, naturally he goes for the archers. With the Ethiopians, he has the fast firing archers. Crossbows in this case, of course. Sorry for that. I just wonder if this is gonna be an adequate move here. Like I've wanted to point out, st4rk is an extremely versatile player. We've seen him win against Melkor, for instance, 2 weeks ago on my own show match that I did, the 1v1, and that was on. I mean, my point is that he won a match on Arena, Melkor being one of the stronger players of on Arena, for instance. So it's not like st4rk doesn't know what he does, even though his home map is probably Arabia or full random in general, water maps. Ooh, nice, nice cast of the students here. Alright, so I guess I'll just invite someone else, someone really specific here, to our cast, really spontaneously. I guess a couple of you guys saw the message. Charlotte is saying hi. Hi there. We'll have Timotheus as a guest here in order to co-cast, which I really appreciate him to have here. I'll just need to invite him to my Discord. Okay, guys, just hang on there a second while this is actually taking place, and I'll have Timotheus in my chat, in my Discord right away. Okay. Alright, so what we can see mostly is that Metal so far not successful entering the space, but this could change in a couple of seconds, as he's attempting to do it, and the only obstacle is st4rk with his bombard cannons, which he does really well with the bombard cannons. I think that's an excellent move. Wow, that conversion, that was a surprise for me. But with the bombard cannons, obviously the onagers for now are being countered, especially in this situation. Quite of a brave move of Metal just to walk around here with his onagers, I must say. Alright, and I'll just invite Timotheus here. So, hi there, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thank you.
Yeah, nice, nice. So, welcome, welcome. You're now live here on Woobly Official. I assume that you're watching as well?
Yeah.
Alright.
I joined the actual game a few minutes ago, just before I asked, just so I could catch up a bit.
Cool. So are you already up to date, or will you just need a couple of more seconds there to
I'm
catch up?
32-25.
35 even. Wow. I'm at
25.
Oh, I'm actually
No,
behind
35. Now I'm
Oh.
35.
Okay, perfect. Me as well. Okay, we can continue then. So, just for the people to introduce you here, we got Timotheus here, and probably most of you know this very person here, the brother of Matthias. And yeah, both of them, especially Timotheus, are quite experienced players concerning Age of Empires, and they have their certain knowledge. And of course, it's a nice thing to have professional players here on stream as well to help us out with some in-depth knowledge concerning every situation that we can face here, especially in Arena. So welcome, welcome, Timotheus, and yeah, feel free to say anything you would like to about this match.
I definitely prefer Metal's position at the moment, just hands down. I think if he'd got crenellations first thing, then it would have already been GG. Because good luck trying to push a two-tone castle with cannons. It just doesn't work.
It just simply doesn't work, right? That's true, that's true. So, he doesn't have it yet, does he? I mean...
He doesn't, which
Alright.
I'm really surprised about. I don't like his choice of army. His monks are just dying. They're not being very effective. And while I like didn't mind his castle placements. I think if you put it between the 2 stones and the gold originally, that would have been a much better placement.
I see what you mean.
Because, like we said like 20 seconds ago, good luck pushing 2-ton castles with cannons. You need a castle of your own, but without stone, it's not easy.
That's not easy at all, you're right. So for now, it still doesn't look too good for Stark, I must say. While he's trying to do something about the castle that is coming up there, inside of Metal's base, he is about to lose his own castle for sure. And yeah, it's all about the micro now of Stark trying to get his hands on the siege, on the onagers as well as on the trebuchets. What do you think? Who is having the upper hand here at this very moment?
I would definitely say Metal. The fact is, once he collects the 2 extra relics, then he'll, I think, have all 5 relics, and he has got Stark hemmed in with castles. So all he needs is crenellations, and then Stark is in a lot of trouble because he doesn't have any trebuchets yet. He's getting another castle, but still, 1 castle against 3 2-ton ones with crenellations, it just isn't easy. And Meadow does have more map control. He can take the extra gold in the corner. He needs to fix his economy a bit, which he's doing right now. But once he stabilizes, then I'd say he's in a much better position.
Yeah, you're correct. And meanwhile, while you were talking, we saw that Stark is losing more of his Arbalest there. So once that one is done, once he loses his army there, I think indeed he won't have any chance anymore to get out of this situation. As you've also pointed out, Metal has the map control, right? So he'll have it easier. Getting his hands on the remaining gold piles, while Stark is kind of stuck there, trying to get his resources from the badly positioned gold and stones there that he has in front of his base. Now let's see.
I don't like the way that Meadow is microing his trebuchets at all right now. He's losing a lot for no reason. I didn't fully understand the choice of hand cannoneers. I disagree with it strongly. There just seems to be no point building hand cannoneers against Arbalest. Either stick with Siege Onager, Cannon, Siege Onager. There's absolutely no need for halberdiers. Absolutely no need. But he is getting another castle, and once he gets that castle, then he'll be able to treb Stark's castle in peace.
Yeah.
Because I think the trebuchet should almost have enough range within the walls. Maybe not quite, but close.
Close, indeed.
And with the castle to protect, then that will be quite intensive for Stark to deal with. Though he needs a few onagers just to protect against the potentiality of rams.
That's true, that's true. Let's see how he will do. Stark now getting architecture there. Just make sure that I catch up here. Yep, all good. So yeah, architecture will of course improve the HP on his buildings, but that's just a complete defensive move, and the question is going to be if he will be able to deal with the incoming threat from Metal now. It's looking gloomy for sure, I gotta say.
And Metal now is getting ballistics, which is a good move for his castles, but he needs to focus his castles on the cannons when he has the options. He definitely doesn't want to be targeting the rams.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, speaking of those rams, they're turning into siege rams in a couple of seconds.
Some great shots from Metal.
On the left hand side there.
In the middle.
Nice.
But yeah,
nice.
Metal just really needs to micro his onagers properly. Maybe build a cannon or 2 of himself. He needs another good technology, obviously Ironclad. I think it allows onagers to tank 2 bombard cannon hits, as far as I'm aware.
That would be of course helpful for sure.
Yeah, very strong. But Stark is about to reclaim his big gold, but Meadow really needs to bring the other relic back to his base. Not huge, but definitely would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, the more relics the better, and of course making also sure that Stark will then, you know, have no access for any more gold then in the later part of this game. That could have an impact as well. I mean, he's running out of gold right now, and what will he do now? What kind of options does he have gold-wise? Nothing much. Just this one on the front there that he still has. But
like, at the moment, he could just build Skirmisher, because that would be fine against Meadow's combination of hand cannoneer and monk.
Well.
I don't like Meadow's hand cannoneers at all. I think they were totally irrelevant,
I
to be
think
honest.
so as well. Yeah. I mean,
he just needs to micro onagers, cannons. His hand cannoneers. I don't really think I've seen them kill anything at the moment. And he just needs to make sure that Stark needs to put pressure on Stark's gold mine so Stark cannot actually properly mine it, because
Mm.
he's out of all of the other gold. If Metal continuously puts pressure on that gold mine, then Stark will be in a lot of trouble. He's at the limit with gold right now.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So really, those hand cannoneers, I mean, for what reason does he have them? What kind of unit does he want to counter with that one? Pretty much there's only Arbalest from Stark, as well as the Trebuchets and the Siege Rams. I don't think those hand cannoneers will do too well against those units. What you think about the villager count? Metal, do you think there's a slight overboom there with 152 villagers? 153 right now?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that he's got 38 idle, it, sometimes it's very common that you're behind an eco, so you just get a huge amount of villagers just to quickly catch up,
Uh-huh.
and then start deleting some. So he needs to put his pop to use, definitely. He's losing the houses as well, which is really bad for him. He's just lost 4 castles, so given the current situation, Stark definitely now has the advantage because he no longer has any castles with Ironclad.
Wow.
He doesn't have Ironclad. He has no castles, and he is getting pushed back. And he is 25 pop housed with 50 idle villages, which is definitely bad.
Yeah, for sure.
About to lose his trebs as well, which he kind of needs his trebs. So yeah, Meadow had a really strong start, and I can't really believe he lost that. He was in such a strong position.
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I can't believe that neither. I mean, it looked so good, and you said it. With those castle, he could have had such an advantage, but he simply didn't go for it. And I believe Stark had just too much of time to deal with the castles like that. I don't think that this should have been possible, but it happened.
Yeah, he maybe have thought it was game over and became a bit complacent. I know that's definitely something that can happen when you get into such a great position, which he was in, and no longer focuses as heavily, because with 4 castles in Stark's face,
Yeah.
against only Arbalest cannon, like all he needs is his own cannon. That's all he needs,
Yeah.
and Stark cannot do the same thing because of crenellations. So I don't understand Meadow's choice of not getting cannon at
Yeah.
that game.
Definitely a bit of confusion arising there for us. I really have no idea.
But the position that Meadow got in, if he can keep doing that, like that was a very strong initial start from him, and if he can replicate that but actually finish the performance, then I do fancy his chances in the series.
You're right. You're right. So let's see about this next matchup there. So just for our information, game 2 is also going to be draft civs. I mean, pick civs from draft. Let's see what kind of civs they will go for. What would you have thought about the initial choice of Ethiopians versus students? I mean, we've seen it now in action, and you've basically said it. How those students could have been really strong. Do you think normally Ethiopians versus students, is there kind of civ win, or is it quite equal then?
It's decently equal. The fact that Ethiopians do have, so they do have heresy, which, as far as I'm aware, which does make a big difference. And then the fact that they've got the Arbalest option. Of course, Teutons hard counter that with their own siege onager, cannon, ironclad stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it would turn into a lot of cannon, siege onager, micro wars. But then Teutons have the crenellation castles, which are so good for map control.
Exactly.
And normally, I would prefer Teutons, but in that map there, just with one castle, he could have denied Stark all stone, and then Stark would have had to buy a castle when he only had 1 gold mine he was able to use.
Yeah.
And stone's expensive, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So
yeah, and I fully understand you there.
But yeah, Stark did do well given the position when I started coming. He was in a dreadful position. He played cynical and finished it out strongly.
That's true indeed. I mean, that was just so impressive there. But also partly due to Metal's weird decisions. But yeah, let's
Yep.
see. It's just the best of 5, so probably we're gonna see some more matches. Hopefully all 5. I'm a fan of seeing all the matches possible,
Yep.
and therefore it's
And part of
just
the game is just capitalizing on the other person's mistakes, which Stark did really well.
mm,
But if we can see more of the gameplay that Metal showed at the start, then it should be a really good series.
yeah, indeed. Really looking forward to seeing more. I think this tournament is a good idea in general. Really looking forward to seeing all of those matches, as all the
Yep.
players involved are just pretty decent to watch. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right. So what about the chat? GPN is there. What's up, man? Students had to make siege onager. That was it. He says he barely even made onager in general. Anyway, he went for hand cannon. Yeah, we talked about that for zero reason. Exactly.
Yeah, all I would have done in Meadow's position was get crenellations, build cannon, and that's it.
Mm,
There was no need for anything else. And obviously, Ironclad. Crenellation, Ironclad, build cannon.
yeah. Indeed.
And
Indeed.
then switch to Siege Onager when possible, which shouldn't be too difficult, given the fact that you only have to micro against trebuchets with cannon, which is fairly handy,
Mm.
and you don't have to worry about cannons killing your castles either. So, but anyway,
Anyway, let us see about the next matchup here. So I just introduced it right away there. So what's up, everyone? My name is Demas Red, and I am joined by Timotheus. And we are about to watch a second match here, second game between Stark and Metal. The score now 1-0. Stark is leading there with 1 point. And I'll just start with, let's say, I'm going to start with player number 6, Stark, describing his Civ and also the base that he has. It's going to be Slavs. Oh my god, Slavs versus Turks. Looking at the space right away of Stark, looking at the resources. Well, that is an oh, is this bugged? Could you check this one with the wood line? Is this considered to be bugged that the wood line on the left hand side is not touching the wall?
I wouldn't say so.
Ah,
It's if both wood lines aren't. So his top wood line is fine. Um,
okay, but his
I,
resources. Okay, no, I got you. Okay, if you say
no,
so.
like the thing is, he's got the top wood line, and if you,
Mm-hmm.
it means that instead of having a secondary stone and secondary gold way in front, all you need to do is a quick wall, like
Yeah,
2 segment wall, and he's got them back.
true.
So like it's better than a lot of the maps you would normally get in arena.
Okay, I got you. So.
And this top wood line is fantastic. Like there's 2 really good spaces for lumber camps,
Mm,
and that's not an issue. And just really quick wall, and he's got both stones and 2 of his gold inside as well. So it's a fairly good map. Just 3 segments. I think it's 2,
mm.
and he's got a very strong map. After
Yeah,
that,
that's for sure. I mean, let's have a look at this once again just to sum it up here. So, Stark's base, he has the stone on the back, the gold on the front there on the right hand side. This is just fine. Second gold outside of there. On the left hand side, he has many safe resources. As you said it, if he just walls this one area off, then he has more safe resources for sure. And this doesn't look like a too much of a bad map there. What about
it's a pretty
Metal?
good map.
Uh,
Um,
what would you
And then
say?
also to note is the
Mm.
4G inside the wall. That is always really
Oh
useful
yeah. Let
as
me
it
see.
prevents you having to delete a wall, which always adds the possibility of a trush, even more so than normal.
I see. Yeah, true. Metal in the south with the Turks. How would you describe that map?
Um, if he was not if it was the civs the other way around,
Mm-hmm.
he would be in a lot of trouble.
Uh-huh.
But given the fact that he's Turks and should be the one putting him on more aggression because of the power of Janissary,
Yeah.
then it's not great. Like he's got backstone,
Mm.
but I don't really like his map. His his secondary or tertiary gold mine
Mm.
is directly between him and Stark, which is a big disadvantage if it gets that far. And this is a weird map because there's no extra resources. No, there's one extra gold. One extra gold.
I see.
So it's missing one of the extra golds from the game, which definitely does make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But
But
he
that,
does have his D inside as well, so that's always nice.
yeah, definitely. Once again, GPN says he's not happy with the position of Metal's lumber camp. If you remember in the first match, he just put it basically outside of the base due to deleting the walls there. Do you think it's an issue there, what he did on the left-hand side of his map, Metal, with his
I
lumber
think
camp?
if he gets a house beside his gate, like not the gate right beside it, but the gate just above that,
Yeah,
puts a
gotcha.
house there, then he's able to delete the wall. Shouldn't be any issue.
I see.
Uh,
Okay.
like it's similar enough to Stark, except Stark's is better in that
Mhm.
regard.
Yeah.
But it would give him a safe, reasonably safe stone, safe wood.
Mhm.
All it takes is one house.
So what about those relics? I think there's Metal having a bit luck concerning the positions there. Would you agree? The relics?
Yeah, the relic distribution highly in favor of Metal. You've got one relic each. Well, you've got one between them on the left-hand side, which is closer to Metal,
Yeah.
but it's not too bad. Then you've got three just closer to Metal on the southern side, and one obviously closer to Stark. But Metal definitely has a two relic advantage this game.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, Slavs versus Turks. I don't want to make some guesses as we got you here as someone who knows better. What you say about this matchup in general?
This is a very interesting matchup.
Mm.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So normally Slavs is my favorite civ.
Mm.
So they are incredibly strong, especially since the farm bonus has not been adjusted yet.
Yeah.
They'll still probably be my favorite civ after that anyway. And they've got incredibly strong options, just perfect monks, especially since Turks aren't really a monk civ.
Indeed.
It means they don't have to worry too much about the lack of faith in heresy. And their cheaper siege will make it easier to deal with the Turk powerhouse early on. So I imagine Metal will probably be doing, quite possibly doing a siege monk type. No, sorry, Stark will
Ah, okay.
probably boom because it's Stark. If it was, or he's building the barracks, so it looks like he'll be doing something like archers plus siege workshop monk type thing.
Yeah,
It,
definitely.
it doesn't work. It actually works pretty nicely. Getting the crossmen, maybe a few Maginot monks. Just the side economy will keep you going in the meantime. Whereas Meadow already on stone going for the Janissary, which is rather expected.
Yeah, that's true indeed. That's true indeed. What you think about the castle placement? Should he build it? I mean, it will always depend on what's going to happen between those two scouts and then the map vision and map control. But position-wise of the castle, where would you go for it then? As
The
the
first
Turks?
castle I'd put above his gold, probably, just to eliminate any possibility that Stark can do Magnatos or monks reaching the gold.
Yeah.
And yeah, they completely protects his entire left side, which is where a lot of his resources are more focused, especially since the weakness due to the house. It allows entry in.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
should be interesting. Yeah, given that Stark is building scouts and Metal has no way of knowing that, that would be a bit more difficult.
True,
He,
true.
he won't be able to scout things. That being said, he will be able to attack the house and just annoy Stark. Won't do much, but Stark may have to send a scout just to kill it, in which case
Yeah.
Metal will know what he's doing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's actually well done by Stark to wall this scout in. Therefore, he now would have the complete control, let's say, over the map, at least for the next couple of minutes, vision-wise. I mean, something Stark could, of course, use for his advantage. As you said it, he goes for scouts anyway. Therefore, this is a clear sign that he wants to go for map control and map vision. Maybe gonna
Yeah.
secure the relics there.
I imagine we'll be seeing a decent amount of. No, so one scout obviously just to prevent Metal from doing the possibility of Ford Castle, which is definitely important. You never want to let Turks get a Ford Castle on you.
Yeah, of course.
Then he's building a second scout. I think he'll more. Yeah, maybe a few knights just and siege workshop or a monastery just to try to keep Metal as far away as possible. But Metal is going forward without any looms, so this
Exactly.
is not looking very good for him.
Wow.
This is looking very bad for Metal.
Quite brave
Stark,
there.
sees it. There's already a wolf.
In addition,
Um,
oh my god, looks bad. He's retreating,
so
losing one villager there as a bait. Maybe the wise decision just to sacrifice it
definitely
like
the
that.
wise decision. If he had tried to continue going, he would have got absolutely wrecked.
Uh-huh.
Stark adding the monastery. So yeah, we'll see. You won't go build anything for the next while. Who will just use scouts just to keep a close eye on what Meadow's doing. Monastery, try to get as many of the relics as possible. He actually sees all of them, unlike Meadow, who only sees 3 of them. So
Interesting there for sure. So monks, okay. And with the Turks going for Janissaries, and you have the Slavs, you've mentioned siege, right? Facing the Turks. Could that be possible to deal with the Janissaries, or would you just recommend going for something else as the Slavs?
well, he's got the stable, so building a bunch of knights just to
Could be, right?
force the Janissary to get hemmed in somewhere. Because while Janissary are very strong, you never want to get really surrounded by knights in the open, and that's where the possibility allows Slavs just to implement their really cheap siege just to try to deal with the trapped Janissary.
I see.
So it is very possible just to get enough knights to keep him sort of away for a while, and then when he sends forward, just constantly do micro wars with the Maginot. And if you lose some, it's not really as big a deal because 15% cheaper adds up really, really quickly.
Yeah, true as
Especially when
well.
you've got such a important economic bonus in terms of getting food, which is what generally makes it harder to make knights.
Speaking of which, GPN was talking about that as well. So the Slavs nerf that will be incoming with the next patch, I believe. He says Slavs nerf is basically nothing. It's going from roughly 1.3x as fast to roughly 1.3 as fast. What does that mean? So just basically, do you think the nerf won't be as much important for the Slavs? Will they still profit a lot from their farms?
One sec. One.
Oh yeah, there we go. 1.31 to 1.28. Okay, so it's approximately the same.
It's not a huge thing, but it certainly will make a slight difference. But I'm not entirely sure since I haven't tried to do any of the numbers. Yes, I haven't really worked out the stuff. It's just feel, and
Oh, yeah.
every time you're Slavs, you could have like 7 farmers, but you have enough food to produce in 2-3 TCs constantly, and you're like, how is this possible?
True.
There's certainly a very strong civilization, and then if it gets to Imperial Age, just all they need to really build is halberdier siege ram. Like, sounds pretty dumb, but
it works somehow, right?
It works.
Alright, so meanwhile we see how Metal is in front of the base of Stark, trying to go to the front there with his Janissaries. He's getting one Janissary converted there and is being surrounded by a couple of scouts and knights, but not too much of a threat there. Oh, a knight being
one
converted.
Knight convert. That was a bit lucky, but he did get a Janissary convert, but he's going to let the Janissary die, which is not... He doesn't want the Janissary to die. It's important. But he is going to kill the enemy knight, which is really, really useful.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Adding the siege workshop, he'll probably he should look to build a few more monks. Definitely makes Janissary a bit more hesitant when there's 6-7 monks instead of 3.
Yeah.
And that castle isn't the best. It's not terrible, but I'd prefer it beside the secondary gold from Stark.
Right, it would have had more impact, more of meaning, and yeah, therefore, I mean, it's still in the front, you're right, it's not the worst castle, but he could have chosen better, maybe, but he actually...
If he had... By putting it beside the secondary gold, like, it would have been lucky, but it would have been able to hit the first one as well.
Yeah, as well, true. Okay, so he's inside of the base. The secondary wall or something like that is not up by Stark. It's not closed off. The Janissaries can just go forward. They killed one monk already.
Stark looks to be in potentially a bit of trouble. But Meadow needs to send his monks as well, because there is a few knights there and a few monks. But once he sends his monks there, then that will sort of help counteract the possibility of the knights, and then Janissary just rip through Maginals if you're paying attention.
Right. Okay.
He's probably going. Siege Workshop, interesting. Yeah, killing both monks with any loss is big, but he
No.
really should have had his monks there. It would have made such a big difference.
Hmm. Indeed, I'm just watching this fight between those Janissaries and the cavalry there, but slowly, steadily, the Janissaries are getting the upper hand, and they will continue to raid a bit. The woodline, the stones, quite vulnerable for now, and it's GG by Stark.
Yeah.
Metal's comment, what the fuck was you doing? Oh well.
Saying stupid Civ? No, it's definitely not the Civ. um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think either doing a bit more knights when it's obvious that the other guy's doing Janissary with a bunch more Maginals, or just doubling triple Monastery, or even doing archers instead.
Hmm.
I think triple TC was not the best move there, because it's if you go try to boom against Turks, then it's always a roll of the dice because Turks
Hmm.
are just so scary. You kind of need to try to not prevent them from getting close to you in the first place.
Right.
You don't really want to Turk castle face. That's just not ideal.
No.
So either doing something like crossbowmen with monk. I think crossbowmen with monks would have been better, as it allows them to convert any Maginals or Janissary. And the Slav, he wouldn't have needed that much farmers for his economy to keep going because he was Slavs. He could have done a more wood gold intense.
Understand you. So basically, you think that forward castle by Metal was preventable in this case? Do you think Stark was a bit too passive then at this very moment?
I think he was a bit too passive. He scared Middle off the first time,
Mm,
sort of, and then wasn't really building that much. He should have probably added a second or third monastery, because that allows him the option of potentially low eco going to imp getting block printing,
mm-hmm.
which really Turks really don't like,
Yeah.
because part of the Turk power is the free chemistry for cannons, but block printing and monks kind of counters that immediately for low eco.
Mm, very interesting there. Okay, so a couple of seconds left until we can start with the next game between Metal and Stark. So far it's ties 1-1. Looking good and interesting for sure. Okay, the game's starting. I'll just tune in a couple of seconds. Alright, there we go, guys. So, what's up, everyone? My name is Demazred, and I'm joined by Timotheus. We're both casting this third match between Metal and Stark on Arena. And yeah, it's gonna be Kells versus Melons. Wow, okay, okay. Doesn't surprise me that Stark went for Melons then. Okay, so let's just start right away. This time I'm just gonna, I mean, why don't you start? Choose a player that you want, and if you want to just describe the map.
Yes, I'll start with Stark.
Hmm.
Um, his gold's great, two back golds,
Hmm.
but his stone is abysmal. With one outside his wall, one very close to the wall. Definitely able to be seen from the scout. I think it's Stark's deer, which are right between the two players, even closer to Meadow, in fact, a lot
Wow.
closer.
Wow.
So that's not ideal. His one of his secondary golds, but essentially between the two players.
Mm,
So the thing is, if he's doing something like Monk, which he could well do, his map's just fine because all you need is gold.
right.
Um, the Malians don't need castle immediately. They've got fine options in terms of Monk, cannon, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world if he doesn't get access to a stone immediately. Gebetto's a strong, but the natural Celtic unit is Siege Onager, which kind of Gebettos don't have a good relationship with Siege Onager.
Right. I understand you.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
then Metal, for how good I thought his map was going to be originally without the all visible on, it looks like it could potentially be great, but it's pretty terrible as
Mm.
well. Stones similar enough to Stark, very close to the wall. Not great if you're wanting to do a castle defense,
Right.
which against a monk civ is generally a pretty good option.
Mm-hmm.
His main gold, it's not too bad given how forward it is, just because it's on the opposite side of Stark.
Right.
So if Stark doesn't really pay attention, then he could get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
A good back gold, and once again, just a palisade wall, and he's got a decent amount of space in his back, which is always appreciated.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let me just check. There is a gap indeed on the left-hand side between the wood and the wall there, but yeah, one palisade would fix that. Interesting indeed. Okay, so we talked about that, the relics. Let me just point that out once again, slightly or significantly in favor for metal. Once again, at least
Yep,
3 of them directly, and also the other one far back. I mean the north
four to
there.
one for metal.
4-1 once again. Interesting, interesting. And yeah, those deers, what about that? GPN was talking about that. Without deer, Stark can smash that fast, which is key in this case. Would you agree?
Um, These are always highly useful.
Mm.
For most civs, it would be pretty bad. Malians, their economy is so strong that they would be able to survive without it.
Hmm.
Obviously, it'll hurt a bit. It will definitely hurt. But Malians do have a strong enough eco that they should be able to do fine without it, especially the fact that they get the free gold mining upgrade, which is definitely ideal if you're doing a smush.
Interesting, interesting. In the meantime, Metal also getting his hands on those deers of Stark. That's of course.
He will
Up.
definitely have a pretty strong start luring 2 sets of deer.
Yeah, yeah. True indeed.
If he can get away with it without Stark trushing him, which, given it's Stark, you never know.
Yeah, true, true. You never know. We found out about this one 2 weeks ago. True
Yep.
indeed. Interesting stuff for sure. So Celts versus Malians, huh? Interesting. Do you think it's once again quite equal here, or is it some kind of advantage for another Civ here, for one or the other?
Yeah, Celts is one of the interesting civs on Arena because they're widely picked by a lot of really good players. Like Winchester always picks them, Stark picks them.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a crazy eco,
Yeah.
but they're one of the few civs that has neither good cavalry or
Mm.
good archers, which always makes them a bit rougher to play. Obviously, the better siege does make a difference. I always think they're a bit susceptible to the Monk Rush. If it's done well, can do a lot of early damage.
Mm.
But if they can get to Rhodes and Siege Onager in this matchup, then they're looking quite dangerous.
True.
The Malian light cavalry, although Celts have halberdiers, is not to be underestimated with its 14 attack either.
Yeah.
Definitely an annoying unit because you think it can't do that much damage to your eco, but then you realize that it does
Yeah, it still does,
essentially
right? Right,
the
right,
same
right.
damage as Cavalier.
Oh my god. Yeah, true indeed. True indeed. So, while we were talking about the deer that could have been a huge advantage for Metal here, he's still not done with his own patch on the left-hand side. Just pointing that one out. So he just got one additional deer there, at least the one patch from Stark that I'm talking about. But otherwise, not too much of a huge advantage that he has from this one. And both are clicking up villager-wise, pop-wise, 26 and 26 and 28. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so I believe that Stark will. I mean, obviously Stark will be up earlier, and you think this is an indication that he maybe wants to do something with a smash or something like that. For now, he has only 2 villages on gold, nothing too spectacular, just gonna be a fast castle. But what could his plan be with 26 and +2?
I think his plan should probably be to smush.
Mm-hmm.
The Malians have a really good smush with their wood and gold bonus. Definitely makes it a lot easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely the point in time where they have an obvious edge over Celts with
Right.
roughly equivalent eco, but they have the advantage of better monks and
Mm-hmm.
the better ability to produce monks with the monasteries cheap and the gold mining upgrade free. So I think he should probably look to smash, but it's Stark, so
You never know, man.
every time you think he's going to go aggressive or should go aggressive just based on his save, he
Mm.
booms and you're like, what? It shouldn't work, but a lot of the time it does anyway.
It does anyway, indeed. This is just Stark. True. Clicking up there. Okay, what about Metal? He's also doing his best to do so. Both are going for Blacksmith and Markets. So for Stark, it still looks as if he could go for a smash or something like that. He's adding a lot of farms as well. So most likely, as you've mentioned, we're not gonna see something like that. Even though his wood count now is quite low, Stark, as if he won't go for a second or third TC. Let's see about this.
It looks like he's definitely booming with only 2 villages in gold. I expect he'll just get 1 monastery, 2 TC.
2 TC. Alright. Okay.
The additional sort of discount for the buildings makes it a lot more manageable to get the double TCs Malians. It's suddenly a lot cheaper.
Alright.
But I'm not sure that's the best option for him. He could just be planning to do a fast Imperial with Monk, and that could definitely be dangerous with a quick block printing. But it certainly looks like he's just doing a boom double DC monastery at the moment.
No.
And Metal seems just boom double TC. It's quite possible he may buy 100. No, he would just double TC a monastery, both eco upgrades.
Yeah, most likely. That's for sure. And with the cows, the wood bonus is so extreme. So most likely we're gonna see more TCs from him. And yeah, therefore I think both players won't play too aggressively here. Also map control wise, both scouts still alive there. Just Stark's scout with 3 HP less, but nothing too spectacular here at this very moment. Heavy Plow and Bowsaw incoming from Metal. Okay. It's gonna be a slower start, but we see the monastery by Metal there in the north, so maybe an indication that he wants to make use of the advantage that he has concerning the relic positions. And let's see what he's gonna do afterwards. Start with Wheelbarrow.
Did Stark sell any of his wood? Because I'm wondering why he was only able to afford 1 TC. I thought he had a lot more wood.
Well, I've paid attention to that, and this is why I said, well, is he going to be
Affordable.
able to afford more TCs? Because his wood count was really low. And that was maybe because of the fact that he added a couple of farms when he clicked up to Castle Age. So once he had, I believe, 40 wood or something like that on his way to Castle. So I'm not sure. Alright, so 3
I'm definitely
TCs.
not seeing what his plan is. I think it's probably closer to a fast imp with monks. Maybe Herbalist as well. Even though they don't get braced, but I could well imagine him doing a fast imp Herbalist monk with block printing.
Right, that could definitely be. Yeah, semi-fast imp, so to speak, as GPN points out. This could be a thing that he wants to go for. Yeah, why not? But for now, everything's still slow. Both players trying to get the relics home. And let's see how this one will turn out, as both players don't have any military units besides their initial scouts. Really slow game for now.
Ooh, and Stark got a hit on metal, which means suddenly he has more HP, which allows him to take the first relic.
Alright.
But metal shouldn't be too worried about that. Based on this, I imagine Stark will end up getting 2 of the relics, metal 3. At least that's probably what should happen. It will be interesting to see how much focus the players put on this, or whether they just put more effort into managing the economy perfectly.
Yeah.
Interesting to note that Metal hasn't finished his berries, which is definitely strange.
To say the least, that's for sure. Interesting. I mean, he clicked up later anyway, so he could have had more time using those berries. He simply didn't.
No.
Alright, so in the north we see the first denial of the relic. That is a Stark attacking successfully and killing the monk. But 2 monks are approaching, going forth. Maybe, do you think there's a chance to get the relic there with those 2 monks? Probably. Nah,
He should definitely be able to collect the
Yeah.
relic with the two
Okay.
monks. His scout's also in the area, which means he's able to monitor where Stark's scout is.
Alright. Siege workshop incoming for metal, quite close to the base of Stark. Alright.
And he does have loom, so he should look to wall his village in. Did Stark see that? Yeah, Stark knows that that siege workshop exists. And yeah, he's doing the fast imp. He's already up, building
Yes.
monastery. Probably gonna. Looks like the pike monk, or don't know if he's going to build archers as well. But yeah, Stark's definitely in a. He's not in a bad position with that much in gold. He'll be able to build a lot of monks, and he'll probably do the fast chemistry for the cannons. So he'll be able to put a lot of pressure on metal quickly.
That's true. There's a potential indeed. Unless he is not able to deal with the incoming threat by Metal, who's slowly but steadily approaching now with one Mangonel, just to annoy him for now. I don't think that he'll be able to go in as fast. Stark getting all the text, redemption,
And
sanctity. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely big. Metal. Ooh.
Oh, nice done. Nicely done.
Players microing nicely. But Stark does have both sanctity and redemption, so that's not going to be a very effective push for metal. He does have his own monks, but he'll probably want to run as fast as possible once he sees Stark gets in, because he'll know that block printing is coming. But his economy is definitely quite a lot ahead. He's building a second siege workshop, which he should look to delete. There's no point in building that siege workshop now that he knows Stark's up.
Interesting. You think so? It has no point?
Absolutely no point, because Stark, at the very worst for him, well, he'll be able to convert Maginors so easily, and if he doesn't convert the Maginors, then he'll just convert the siege workshop, saving him a bunch of wood. Chemistry blitzing its way, the 80% faster, definitely making a huge difference.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a free Maginor unless Metal deletes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And now he's going to be able to kill the monks, potentially. Nope. Oh.
Okay. Lucky by Metal.
Probably going to lose the scout too. Nope. Deleted it. And now his 3 monks are going to die, because he'll have to turn around to convert the scout, but then the Maginor will kill all 3.
Oh my god, how unfortunate. It's really worked.
And now Stark should look to convert the siege workshops. Getting both siege workshops would help a lot for cannon production.
Yeah, true, and he does that. At least the one siege workshop that he's... Oh, this is being deleted. Perfect.
Yeah, and Meadow should definitely delete the other one. And this is where Meadow's map is definitely going to put him in a lot of trouble. The fact that he's not able to get any stone. That is definitely not ideal.
True, indeed. Well, it's going to be difficult.
It looks like he'll just try to spam as much knights as possible and hope he can deal with it. Against Hand Cannoneer, could work. He is up with 4-5 stables, so his economy is definitely pretty strong.
Yeah, true. He has a decent set of knights here, Metal. The incoming army consisting of hand cannoneers, bombard cannons, and as well as the monks and the Mangonels for Stark.
He's definitely not in a bad position. Stark doesn't have that many monks at the moment. I think that's a mistake from Stark. He probably should have wanted to continue constantly build monks, because just hand cannoneers definitely would not cut it. Metal will be able to take it out very shortly.
Right.
With 10 monks, then Metal would actually be scared. With only 2 there, he shouldn't be that worried. Hand cannoneers don't quite cut it.
The more monks are on their way, as far as I can tell. 2 more monks inside the base of Stark. You should get them forward for sure.
But Metal at this point should look to go around, which is what he's doing. Then he'll be able to sandwich everything and rip Stark.
Wow, that's true indeed. It could happen any second here. Let's watch where he's going.
Yeah, Meadow doing a good job of controlling the houses. He's making sure that as houses are dying, he's reproducing them. But this is bad for Stark. This is just GG.
Wow, it's really happening here. Great move by Metal. And he's exactly doing what you just said. Wow.
Yeah, that's just game right there. doing a great battle, killing everything, losing sort of 2 Cavaliers and wiping out Stark's entire advantage.
Impressive.
Yeah, but he should look to kill the cannon before it runs. I'm not sure if he sees it, but this definitely gives Metal a lot more time. It will allow him to take that last relic, allow him to take stone heavily, and allow him to get the time necessary to be able to produce worlds in mass.
That's true indeed. Well, when the volts come in, it's going to be difficult for Stark to do pretty much anything against that. And I'm also not happy what he does in front of the gate there, partly opening it there for a second. That was really risky, 2 times already.
I think what happened there is the annoying occurrence where he sent 7 knights or 8 knights in the gate, but 1 was a lot behind.
Yeah.
So then they try to get as a group, and then by that time the gate closed. It's always really, really frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, true indeed. That's true
but I
indeed.
don't like Stark having that gate open with the cannon there.
Yeah, why does he do that? Why does he do that?
Metal already able to build a castle. You can put him in a great position between his stone and gold. He's no longer building any arch ranges, no longer really any need. Now that he's completely pushed Stark back, now he's got full map control, better economy. He's in a fantastic position.
Yeah, that's for sure. Villager count 110 to 82 military-wise due to this action there, strictly in favor for Metal. Therefore, the pressure is on indeed, while Stark is messing up the army of monks there. This could maybe work, but it's simply a good situation, good position for Metal that he is in. And securing the area in the front of his base, having safer access to stone, partly also the gold there, certainly a good sign for Metal. Let's see what's going to happen.
And now he's got double blacksmith, and he's going to start building skirmisher just to... It will really counter everything that Stark's building at the moment.
Pretty much.
And the cannon killing Stark's own cannon with the no friendly fire on.
Oh man. The skirms, they're incoming slowly but steadily. Just sitting inside the base of Metal for now. And yeah, Stark is trying to apply some pressure, attacking the castle there, but is it gonna work? How much is it going to work? He is definitely going to provoke Metal to approach there, coming with his... I mean, this is what Stark wants, that he comes forth with his Cavaliers, but behind those cannons there is his army. Yeah. Oh yeah, the skirmishers are coming, okay.
And this is where Metal just sends a skirmisher, Stark has to retreat, otherwise would take damage, and Monk's converting skirmisher, it's just like, well,
nothing. Wow.
That was thrilling.
Exactly.
Like, even the cannons wasting sort of 6 shots on the skirmisher is just extra time for Metal. Which, losing 2 skirmisher to waste a bunch of Stark's time, that's definitely within his position.
For sure.
Much better eco, 1 castle up. He is far away from getting another castle because he's been constantly repairing. But with skirmisher, you'll have them as researched as he can have fairly shortly. Make researching Paladin as well. All he needs now is Energy Cut and GG Stark.
Indeed. Paladin now incoming for Metal. He has also got his hands on Heresy there. Heresy. And
that's definitely a good upgrade for him. The thing that he need, one of the just smaller things that he should probably look to do, just taking that last relic, get that small bit extra trickle. But he's got the map. Once again, there's no extra resources, which is no, I can't see any of the extra resources, which is really strange. I'm not sure what's happening, but yeah, things definitely looking good for Metal.
So Stark is going for heavy camels. What do you think? Is it gonna work? His economy is not that good as the one of Metal. Is he gonna be able to keep up there with the armies of Metal's Paladins?
It'll probably be a good initial shock unit, but for Metal it'll be so easy just to adjust, get research Halberdier. But it could save Stark the initial push, but after that I can't imagine it doing too much because Celts in the long run definitely do not want to have to make Paladins.
Yeah, true indeed.
And when it gets to low gold, game. Should Malians have much better light cavalry with their extra 3 attack
Yeah,
compared
for
with normal
Rimba.
ones,
Yeah.
but the halberdiers from Celts should just be a sort of be all end all with Malians not even able to get braces, so
Right.
they'll be able to tank a lot more damage. They're better than the pikemen. They wreck the light cavalry, so he'll just in the end he'll just look to build halberdier, and it should work.
It should definitely work.
Yeah, full halberdier with siege ram definitely should be able to do a lot of damage as an end combination.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen right now as the Paladins are now approaching, attacking the castle. When that castle is down, probably everything is gonna go really bad for Stark, as then they could just enter the space. I don't think that the amount of heavy camels is just enough to deal with it. The monks are doing their best, converting as much as they can, but I think in a couple of seconds it could be definitely over for Stark. Or what is actually happening? Metal is now retreating. As you said, this little shock momentum that the camels have for now. Let's see if this is gonna stay like that for a longer while. Doesn't seem like that as Metal is engaging actually. Let's see. Alright, the camels are about to die. Or are they? Yeah.
Yeah, things looking good. Stark managed to push Meadow back, but very costly for him. Meadow has the rest of the map, so should be able to keep it up a lot longer. Stark already being almost out of his last gold mine, 600 gold. That's enough to produce, I think, about 10 camels. After which point, Meadow just transfers entirely to Halberdier, and I can't see what Stark's going to be able to do against that.
Yeah, true. I mean, he will just run out of resources and then he won't be able to catch up anymore, as more Paladins will be in the production if Metal chooses to do so. And if not, he can just simply shift his economy to, or his military composition to anything else, as he has the economic advantage.
I don't like what he's doing with his trebs. Putting them in cannon fire, or even putting them in fire of the light cavalry in general, isn't the best move at the moment. You'll want something in front, whether it's pikemen, roads, just something. Apart from skirmisher paladin.
Alright.
And while Meadow's trying to kill that cannon, he really needs to kill the villager first, because there's no point in trying to attack cannons with skirmishers unless there's nothing repairing them, because they just do too little damage.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, without Bracer, they only do 1 damage to cannons, so they're not the most effective unit there is. But Metal will be able to get another castle, and if he puts it between the stone and the gold, when able, then I can't really see Stark pushing back against that.
Yeah, there's literally no more, I mean, he won't have any resources to push back anymore, because this castle that you talk about, this potential castle, could then prevent every further income for Stark there. So this maybe could his last engagement there after he calls it GG. Depends on how it's gonna end. For now it looks quite okay, but all the halberdiers are successfully attacking the heavy camels, though the numbers of Stark simply better there. The halberdiers are done, but so is the trebuchet of Stark. The Paladins in front of the base of Stark able to get a couple of kills, but still not enough. I am actually surprised, but Stark's still in the game for now, but he needs to do something about the trebuchets in front of the castle of Metal there. Otherwise it's going to be...
And this is where Metal is doing a really smart decision while on the rest of the map. He'll want to do it, put a lot more villages on it, because Stark will get there in time and be able to do a lot of damage.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, though, he could definitely lose his castle with the roads and halberdier.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he's sending the guys back, but Meadow definitely does not want to let Stark in his base. That would be an absolute disaster.
True.
But he is pushing forward. That castle is going down fairly quickly. He doesn't have siege engineers, which is one of the techs that always bugs me when people don't research.
Okay.
But he's definitely putting a lot of pressure right now.
That's for sure. I think after this one there will be no way of for Stark to reinforce, even though he now has 700 gold still. What about his
Uh,
resources? Just check
St4rk
it.
has a lot of wood, a lot of food, but at this point,
Uh-huh.
I can't see him doing anything valuable with them. After having lost all the position, Metal having 2 golds, an extra stone, which he can now use, and 4 of the relics. So,
Wow, and there we go. Impressive. So Metal won this one. And yeah, Stark finally ran out of resources. I mean, he still had a little bit of gold, 830 to be exact, but with that one, it was just a matter of time until he would finally run out, and then Metal would be dominating concerning the units that he would have. So yeah, I understand why Stark called it here.
yeah.
Okay, just referring to the chat here real quick. So Willis is complimenting the Castle visual mod indeed, guys. And Selfless Vegeta asking, what is this nice visual mod? Just for your information, guys, this is just a mod that I got from Voobly. That is called, let me just tell you, Artistic Graphics. You can download that on Voobly in their mod section, visual mods, and it's quite decent indeed. Alright, so that's the situation. The next game is going to start in a couple of seconds for sure. I'll just quickly update a couple of things. And yeah, GPN. Stark is replacing doubt in all sentences involving strategy unbelievably bad, he says. It makes me shake my head before it happens. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, I'll just update this one here real quick so the name of the casters are visible. Yeah, in a couple of seconds, like I've said, we're gonna continue once the game actually starts.
Yeah, that was a interesting game. Metal with really good defense with Cavaliers. Stark with it was a good idea. I liked his strategy. The only difference is I think he should have been more intensive on monks. I think he should have potentially added a 3rd and 4th monastery, and instead of doing hand cannoneers, maybe pikemen.
I understand, yeah.
Because all pikemen against Celts is just like, why? At the same time, it's just something to get between the enemy unit and the monks, and as well as that, if Meadow decided to do, let's say, skirmishes first, the extra pierce armor makes them invulnerable,
Yeah.
and they're pretty cheap, so and it would allow him to use his gold purely for monk, and it's just one of the better defenses for the monks, given that he's got cannons to kill whatever else.
True, true, true. Yeah, actually, really nice to have such insights. So I really appreciate this, man. Cool stuff, cool stuff. And meanwhile, the next game is starting. A couple of seconds left, 50 seconds to be precise, and then
Game 4.
Yeah, game 4. You say it, man.
Do you know what the civs are? I haven't.
Well, there's a pool. I'm not sure. I just know what civs are banned. That is Vikings and then Britons.
Oh.
And GPN is asking, how many Habibi Camps tokens did you have to pay to get this long with Tim? Well, a lot of tokens, man. A lot of tokens of HabibiCamps.com. But yeah, Timotheus was actually really kind and asked me, and I said, why not? I'll just quickly check with Ruby. It was fine, of course. And then, yeah, it was just a nice, spontaneous decision, which I really appreciate.
I volunteered.
Exactly. You volunteered. Exactly. And there we go. The next game is starting. So welcome everyone. My name is Dem Eyes Red and I'm joined by Timotheus, of course. And we are presenting game number 4 between Metal and Stark. And this time, Mayans versus Spanish. Alright, I'll just start with Starkinio here in the northeast, and he has the Spanish. I know how this guy plays Spanish on Arena. I have a slight feeling that we could see something really specific here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see for sure.
Which may involve the words that begins with T and ends in rush.
Exactly, T and Rush. There we go. Yeah, this could definitely be. As we have to point out, this is still a Rhina though. Doesn't keep Stark away from doing this T dot Rush here. Could work. We'll see about this. Describing his base right away, I can point out that it doesn't look too bad. As in the north, he has his resources. First gold, first stone is in the back for sure. Second gold outside, to left hand side of his base. In the south, he also has a second stone outside. So his primary resources look good. His secondary resource is not that good at all. But in the back of his base, once again, he has a secondary or tertiary gold and also stone. So this looks really convenient there. A lot of space in his base. And that is obviously really good. The deer patch is inside. And this is a rematch for Metal. Too far, he says.
Good
Too
decision
far.
by him.
Hmm.
Great decision from him with forward stone, 2 forward stone,
Yeah.
and his gold is fine. He's got a back gold, and his main gold isn't too close to the wall, so Stark wouldn't be able to see it. But his map relatively is just terrible compared with Stark's. And Stark, to add insult to injury, had his deer inside as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's obviously not that great. Not that great for Metal. Oh, there was also a third gold, a fourth gold inside the base of
Yeah.
Stark. Well, wow, this
So
perfect.
sick. It was a sick map, and Metal was very smart to do a restart there.
Definitely. So therefore, this is a situation we've seen the second re of this matchup. Each player, I believe, is able to call one re, and Stark has called one the very first matchup here, and Metal now with his own re. There we go. There we go. Yeah. All right. So just answered a couple of texts there on Vubli, and now we can just continue once the guys are ready. Yeah, Speculator has started right away. Charlotte asking, hello, I'm back. What did I miss? What I messed up or what did I miss? Probably just the rematch. Exactly, the rematch from Metal. There we go. But hi there. Stark needs a map where all resources can be denied at one point for Metal to win. Okay, I understand. Could be. Alright. Okay, a couple of seconds here. 20 seconds. And then I'm gonna continue. There we go. Game starting.
Ooh,
there we go.
That's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough for Metal. He read to get an even worse map.
Oh, look at this. You're right. Most of the resources just outside or close to the edge of his base. All of the resources. The main stone and main golds touching, nearly touching the walls there. The other resources are just outside. Sheep
That's
outside.
horrendous. That's
Also,
horrendous.
yeah, the deer patch also inside. You're right, man. This is just downright awkward. Wow.
Like what he'll probably do is look to trust Stark's main stone because he sees the secondary stone also outside the wall. The problem with that is stone also has the extra stone and extra gold inside his base. So
this is just once again great
that's
map
a
for Stark.
very rough map for
Indeed.
Metal, especially after calling a re. That's not what you want.
Exactly, that's true indeed. Well, these resources just terrible.
But Stark's map at least is worse than his previous one. It's still fantastic, but it is worse than his previous one. He no longer has all his resources inside as well, plus the deer.
Yeah, Indeed, indeed. This time it's a bit more of a normal good map, to say the least.
Ooh,
But yeah.
and St4rk opening his wall.
Interesting
Interesting.
choice, yeah, for sure. I mean, he cannot just go through the gate there,
Yeah.
obviously, due to the gold, but
Yep.
okay.
Ooh, and Metal sees the stone already.
Mm-hmm.
And if he sees the other stone, then I can definitely see him trushing this game. No, if he goes around the corner a small bit, he'll see both stones, and I think that is probably what he'll look to do. Because taking a look at his own map, he realizes it's pretty pure junk.
Mm-hmm.
Or so he knows that if St4rk trushes him, then he'll be in a lot of danger. If they both go fast castle, then yeah, Plumed Archers being one of the better units overall to kill
Yeah,
conquistadors, way better than a lot of the other ones that exist,
yeah,
just due to their speed and good damage versus them. But definitely puts Meadow in a more awkward position because he may not want to trush, but his map and the fact he sees both St4rk's stone means
yeah.
that he could be more inclined to.
True indeed. With that kind of knowledge that he now has, he could go for that one indeed. True, true. But let's see what exactly is going to happen as Metal now somehow chasing the scout of St4rk. Now they're both inside of St4rk's base. Just annoying him there. Why not? Could be crucial just to improve the situation that he is in concerning the bad map that he has. Let's see. Pushing the deer back. Oh my god. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that would definitely be annoying for St4rk. The inability to get his deer if Meadow keeps his scout there.
Yeah, but
Meadow
he's...
sees
Yeah.
his bad deer, or he can't even see them, but he realizes, judging by the fact he can't even see his deer, that they're pretty terrible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So why not making the situation equal concerning the deer and then just deny it for St4rk as well? We'll make it a
Is
bit
he
better for Metal.
is he going to try to be the hero and lure
Oh
that
no,
deer
don't
all the
tell
way
me.
across the map?
Oh wow. Okay, he's really going for it.
uh, is he going to send one of his sheep up? I can't tell. Like if what he's doing, it would work a lot better if he sent one of his sheep up. He shouldn't have to delete as well. Oh, he even hasn't found his original 2 sheep.
Oh really?
Oh man, St4rk could find those. What's Meadow gonna do here?
Yes.
Oh, that was well done. That was well done.
Okay, well done
But
indeed. Well done indeed. He's now, I mean, just for one deer though. A lot of dedication for sure, but why not? It
but
works.
now St4rk will look to lure his deer.
Hmm.
Oh, the deer's running back, but it's inside the gate, so it's
Yeah,
stuck
it's gonna
there.
fine.
Um,
Exactly. Will it reset once it hits the gate? Oh, how does that
It
work?
may take a bit of a
Uh,
while. Sometimes it does it while it antics, but it should
ah.
reset eventually.
Yeah.
It's generally safer to lock the gate just so
Mhm.
you can try to get it behind to push it. But in this case, it was a nice deer and didn't cause as much problems as deer can. Always being one of the more chaotic aspects of Age of Empires,
Yeah.
where you can do essentially a perfect dealer and then it'll turn back for absolutely no reason, and it's a really big pain in the neck when it does.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So for now, it looks at least... Oh, interestingly, Stark goes for the stone right away. Just worth pointing it out. Not gonna say that he's gonna trash or something like that, but an indication
Fast
that
castle.
he... Yeah, fast castle and then conks, probably.
And yeah, Meadow also doing the stone, so both of them are going to
Mm-hmm.
be doing castles. And it should Meadow finding his sheep.
Finally.
Lucky St4rk did not bother scouting him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, going down 2 sheep isn't ideal.
Yeah,
Um,
indeed.
and now he probably will delete one of his wall segments
Yeah.
and go for his own deer, which is very manageable. Typical build for Mans. Yeah, Metal definitely knows the build order for Mans. So
Mm-hmm.
he'll
I'd say
look
so.
to both up at roughly the same time.
Mhm.
Metal a small bit faster and with the loom, so
Oh,
small
and
bit of
with Loom.
advantage
Okay,
because
okay.
he's mans. Because he's mans. So,
Oh yeah, true, true indeed. Okay, of course. In the beginning, you just go for it
but
now.
the, but the deer is definitely annoying him.
Mhm. Really awkward there.
Doing the thing I mentioned where
Yeah,
it just runs
exactly.
back for no reason.
For no reason, exactly. It's just wow, impressive. Oh, that
And
works
Metal
if you
trying to
stick
lure it
around there.
through the wall.
Wow,
Um,
didn't know.
I wasn't aware of that aspect, but it worked. And
The
now
more
he'll
you
want
know,
to
man.
fire. Oh, and he will look to do that successfully. The villager trying to sabotage things, trying to spike the
Mhm.
eagle. Um, but not too much going on. Stark's resources looking fine. He'll trying to put more guys on tier just to get that extra bit of food that he needs. Metal heavily on food with that deer. Shouldn't be in a bad position 5 on food. Um, both Stark having a bit more food, but his berries are about to run out, so that won't be as ideal for him. But both
Mhm.
looking fine and being able to probably just do the two buildings and then click up.
Exactly, Market and Blacksmith. There we go. The castle's going to be up as well. And just talking about the unique units, so you've mentioned as well the Mayans with the plumed archers. They do well against Kongs. Would you say so that in this case, then Stark has a huge disadvantage, or are there situations in which he could just simply go out as a winner?
Um, So very early on,
Hmm.
Conquistadors do have the edge on
Yeah.
plumes just at the very start because they do a lot more damage, and so it's a lot easier to kill them.
Hmm.
Um, then at certain stage, especially when the plumes start getting ballistics, then plumed archers, if you Conquistadors, generally you want to run. Um, and then once the siege rams start coming out, then or the cap when if it's cap rams, then you still want to be the conks because they'd absolutely demolished cap rams.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but it's start with plume's better slightly after a while, but both very strong units. Um, oh, is Meadow looking to trap the scout? Ooh,
Maybe he could. Yeah, he is. He is. He is. Why
yeah,
not?
that's
Hmm.
so Stark would try to be as annoying as possible with that scout, as you generally try to be. Meadow is heavy on gold, so he's probably going to try to do a lot of plumes. I'm guessing. Uh,
Yeah.
or the monastery, maybe monastery, castle, all that.
Yeah. Then the
Very
question's
little
gonna
guys on food.
be, what about the next TCs then upcoming? So with either he goes for a monastery, that could work, or he masses up a lot of plumes then. But then the TCs, the number of TCs, that will of course be a more of a difficult task then.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, so castle going up, deleting the walls while he can still see them. Good
Yeah.
options. He'll probably look to build a monastery. Yeah, he's opening his wall on the other side to the monastery. Stark also doing a great castle, both of
Yeah.
them very forward. And then let the battle over the relics commence. One of the obvious advantages for Mayans in this battle is they don't care nearly as much if a plumed archer is converted.
Hmm.
Whereas if a conquistador is converted, that's much worse because it's a
Exactly.
lot more expensive.
Exactly.
Um,
That's for sure. Just by the way, I want to mention this one, Dr. Slow. Thanks for the subscription. That 10 months already. Really nice, man. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. On behalf of Ruby, thanks. All right. And yeah, you've
um,
said it. The relic war, the relic race is about to commence. And
and one of the nice things about Metal is
yeah.
his monastery he is open to the outside,
Hmm.
so his monks won't even come inside his base, so he doesn't have to worry about the scout at all. The
Exactly.
scout
That's
can
extremely important.
keep running. He doesn't have to worry about it. Because he's looking to collect direct, but conquistadors are already on their way or not. Stark probably wanting to consolidate the relic he's
Hmm.
able to get rather than pushing. Both on low eco. Um, Stark looking to build another castle. Metal looking to build another castle soon as well. Metal will need to pay attention as he sees the conquistadors. Ah, no, Metal. Oh,
Wow.
Stark did.
Rip.
That was bad for Metal. He saw
Indeed.
the conquistadors um, I'm not sure if he was paying attention to something else at the time.
Probably. Otherwise, he would have at least tried to convert or something like this. Or go back to the
But
monastery as
Stark
close as
doing good
possible.
damage on the plumed archers, but Scout going down, Eagle
Oh,
going
yeah.
down.
Okay,
Not
Eagle going down.
better trade for Stark because the Scout should have gone down, but the Eagle shouldn't have, and it always
Exactly.
useful addition to the Monk War. As it the Eagle just really forces the Conquistadors to spend an extra hit attacking the Eagle, which gives the plumed archers potentially another hit on the conks.
True indeed.
Fast siege workshop from Stark, so seems like he'll probably try to pressure the right side of Meadows' base quite a lot and put a forward castle there. So yeah, that'll be very bad for Metal. Stark will probably get a forward castle close to Metal's main stone, and between the main stone and the market, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's definitely possible if Metal screws it up, but doesn't have to be. With the plumes, you're of course more dynamic. You can avoid being hit by the Banganel. If he pays attention to it, maybe it doesn't have to happen, but on the right-hand side of his base, this monastery slowly but steadily will be down, and therefore the threat is about to rise there inside of his base.
Meadow does have a lot of not only plumed archers, but he sees the Magnol and he's about to get plumed the Bodkin. This is a very good. This is pivotal for Meadow, being able to kill that.
Wow.
And now he's got Bodkin arrow as well, so he will be able to take that trade very nicely, and that's really bad for Stark. That's really bad for Stark. Nice micro by Metal. That puts him in a way better position. Losing 4 plumed archers, killing 4 conks and a Magnol, that's a trade you make any day.
Yeah, I would say so. That's a really good trade there for sure. Stark all of a sudden not that much in a good position. He's still committing into this forward move that he is in.
Sending villagers forward for a castle. But I imagine Meadow does have enough plumed archers that he sees the villagers coming now. He could well decide to send his plumed archers and try to force engagement.
Let's see what he will do.
Yeah, he's sending them out. He'll probably come from behind, try to kill the Maginot.
Or is he?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
He sees the siege workshop. He sees the conch. He'll try to kill a quick conch, and now he'll probably try to send them from behind. Or he's about to click up. He could easily just decide to go up, treb it. Easy.
Probably the safer situation, as this castle is about to get up 65% right now.
But there's still a bunch of time left where he could deny it. But the Spanish village is a complete pain.
Still, the fact that the conchs are not there anymore. Okay. Haha, nice.
Yeah,
He's dodging.
I think if he had attacked a small bit sooner instead of doing the big loop, he could have easily denied the castle. But being up, it's not as big a loss. Stark is a long way to go up, and he doesn't quite have the balance in his economy that he'd look for, having 770 wood, adding another TC, too much wood, too little food gold. He probably, if he'd been multitasking a bit more, he may have tried to look to build a farm, mill, and another 7 or so farms. But definitely not in the best position. His forward castle does give him a bunch of time, and that's important. One of the reasons why you do get forward castles is just to force the other player to treb you, giving you the time you need to build up your economy. But engagement between the plumes and the conquistadors.
North.
The plumed archers definitely taking a lot of damage, but yeah, both just dancing the typical dance between ranged units.
Exactly. True indeed.
But Meadow is less inclined to take that battle as he's got a lot of units on low HP, which a stray hit and they'd die. Close to getting another castle, and if I were Meadow, to be honest, I'd probably try to treb the castle leading to Stark's base first. Because while the castle is a thorn in his side, the castle to protecting Stark's base is the only protection, and then he could be in the economy, which would put Stark in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Perfectly said. I mean, for now, Metal now produces another trap, and I guess he will indeed go forward instead of dealing with the situation on the right-hand side. Is there only 2 mangonels and nothing else? What about the Kongs? Also not that much of a problem on the right-hand side. So indeed, Metal is going to go forwards and apply the pressure in front of Stark's base, maybe forcing him to retreat from the right-hand side in order to prevent Metal from going inside of his base. Let's see how this one will work, because indeed he's going
Nice
for that castle.
engagement from Meadow, being able to kill that Magnol. He's now got Bracelet, which does give his Plumed Archers the additional range, which is so necessary to killing Magnols and Conquistadors now that he outranged them. And Stark is definitely in a dangerous position. His resources aren't looking great. He does have a better eco, but he's up to 40 Cs, and knowing it's Stark, he'll probably try to add a 5th, 6th, and 7th in a sec.
Yeah.
As we've all seen, but he's not. He's definitely in a dangerous position. Metal with those Plumed Archers, gonna be looking to put a lot of pressure.
Indeed. That's for sure. Yeah, the castle now down. Stark has walled the base off once again. Now going for university there. Why does he do so? Why is Stark getting the university as well? What's he want to do?
Fortified wall, perhaps, but that will
Okay.
come up too slowly. So maybe looking to do ballistics for skirmisher. We'll find out in a sec.
Yeah, because he
Adding a
doesn't
siege
have archer
workshop.
rangers anyway, you know?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. University is just generally useful to have, but in this circumstance, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure what Meadow is doing with his trebs. It probably would have been best to kill the stone wall while he has the chance. But he'll look to get in Stark space and then do as much damage as possible.
Speaking of bases, Stark is inside the base of Metal and has killed a couple of villagers there already.
Oh, that's very good for Stark.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I mean, look at the villager numbers here, 70 to 40 already. I mean, of course, Stark has added more TCs to his base, therefore the explanation for why he has so little on Kongs. But these Kongs that he has made sure that the number of villagers for Metal actually was decreasing heavily there. At least 10 villagers also died here.
That's a big blow for Metal. If that hadn't happened, then Metal was in a phenomenal position, losing. And his Plumed Archers! These Plumed Archers! Ooh! By the gates, he just.
Oh, by the gates! Oh, I
them.
didn't see. Oh my god, I just missed the biggest.
That's bad. That's bad for him. He's still, given that he's still imp, he still has a chance, but his chances have definitely gone down after losing about 10, 15 villagers and 15 plumes. Yeah, with microing these Plumed Archers, he should be able to kill these Magnols. But, his micro isn't on point at the moment. But a lot of onages come from Stark, and now he would just look to be as annoying as possible. 4 Plumed Archers should be able to potentially kill all of them. That was not necessarily the best position for them. He's going to kill another Maginot, 1 left, which will survive, and now Fortified Wall is up. So that was really bad for Metal, and now he's got a bunch of idle villages by his gold. So those 2 things definitely put Stark back in the game.
Yeah, true indeed. I mean, definitely so important, especially now the villager number is so low. Also, the military number is not impressive anymore for Metal. Suddenly, he is just losing the advantage that he had, being up way earlier, having had just 1 TC and therefore the bigger army. All of a sudden, all of these things don't count too much anymore, but at the same time, we see how Metal is going forward to drop another castle in front of the base of Stark. But is this going to take place as the army of Scorpions are there just to prevent this one from happening?
Yeah, the Scorpions definitely make it a lot more challenging with the Plumed Archers. He doesn't have nearly enough to be comfortable taking an engagement. Stark's still producing Conquistadors with his castle. Metal, instead of doing nothing with his trebs, probably should have looked to finish off the castle. But Yeah, he's no longer in a great position. He lost a lot of ego to those conquistadors. That was a huge blow to, done by Stark.
Hmm.
And he's got a forward castle on him, but I'm not sure how he's going to be able to push this game because Stark now able to build skirmishers in 6 ranges, much better economy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right,
Just
but Metal now has this little tiny window of opportunity. He could now go inside, and what he is doing, and oh no, now he has the elite skirms. Still, they just have a Botkin arrow, so technically speaking, they still have the upgrade advantage here. Still, a reason for Metal to go out and not engage anymore. This is enough time for Stark now to get chemistry and Bracer, and therefore, all of a sudden, those plumed archers won't do too well anymore when engaging in these fights.
yep. Now, I don't think there's any way that Meadow can win this game. Stark just in a too powerful position with that castle still on Meadow's right side. And then a skirmisher versus Scorpion plus Plumes versus skirmisher plus Scorpion just isn't ideal. This is the time obviously you want to add Eagles, but his economy just isn't suited towards it.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Eagles would help, but I just checked the resources here. Metal has one single villager on food. And that is mostly
Yeah,
because he's
totally.
dedicating everything towards the army production, namely the plumed archers, but yeah, therefore we won't see any eagles in this game. It's his last chance, so to speak. Once he loses this army, I believe it will be time to call it. If not, then now, but let's see about this one.
Yeah, so his trebuchets at the moment not doing anything. He should definitely look to kill that castle. So having idle trebuchets is never a good thing. He's looking to push more, but I'm not sure that's the best option at the moment. There's just too much enemy army. The Scorpions obviously just a pain in the neck. He sees cap rams, which are going to soak up a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And having a castle on in your back is never a good thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you can say that like that. Indeed. So Billstick's finally incoming there for Stark. He has lost his first DC there.
Good micro for Metal killing all the skirmishers.
Yeah.
And this definitely does give him a better chance. And microing his plumed archers to get in the Ram's way. So that was definitely well done by Metal. And winning that engagement does put him in a much better position. Now suddenly there's nothing in his way to killing Stark. And start building another TC, but the trebuchets are still within range, so that's not going up. Well, it could go up, but then it would be going down right again. So Metal, if he just spams army, does actually have a chance to win this.
Exactly.
He's got full of wood gold economy, not even bothering with villages, Eddie style, making a market just to balance his specialized economy. And if he can kill these skirmishers and prevent war from coming up, then yeah, he has a chance. But Stark's economy is a lot stronger with
That's
a lot
for
more
sure.
gold, stone.
Yeah, I think so as well. So Metal needs to win this one as soon as possible. He still has access to one gold pile there. I mean, 4 tiles of gold on the left hand side to his base. So he's not out of the game yet. As long as he has gold and his villages on wood as well, he can still produce army. But yeah, once he actually loses the critical amount that he has, of course, it doesn't make too much sense anymore.
Meadows castle getting trebbed
Yeah,
from the
from
side.
behind, man. This is just incredible.
Stark got 3 trebuchets, about to kill one, another one taking a lot of damage. And it's definitely not good for Meadow. And now Stark has broken through with his Magnos, which means we'll be seeing 3 Conquistadors potentially running into Meadow's economy.
Speaking
while
of which,
also pushing with the skirmishes.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, this economy that you were talking about, they all moved to the left-hand side now. As you can see, there's this huge wood line that he has, the most inefficient one, as well as the scope that he has. That's all concerning Metal's economy, really. So for now, he just tries to save it in the middle of his base. I'm not sure if this is the right decision to clear the mess inside of his base. Instead, he should maybe go to the front and continue, because in the middle of his base there is nothing much anyway, speaking of Metal. So do you think it's the right decision to clear the castle on the right hand side instead of just going forward?
Well, at this point, Stark has just got too much skirmishes, and one of the big differences is Stark has got all the defense upgrades, while
Yeah.
Meadow has got 0, and Meadow doesn't have Thumb Ring. Both things definitely not helping his plumed archers.
True.
And then he doesn't have the economy to make rams of any sort. Stark's economy, enough food to be able to start producing capped rams. All he needs is a fused siege workshop, plenty of gold. So yeah, Meadow definitely in a really bad position. And while he really needed to clear the castle a bit earlier when his trebs were doing nothing at all, now that his trebs need to be doing something, he has to go back.
True. Okay, so we see, oh, that's actually Stark with another TC on the right hand side, and it's not being, oh, it is being spotted by Metal right now. I guess this TC could get up. Nope, it won't. It's denied. Well, unfortunate stuff. But I guess once Stark actually goes to left hand side of Metal space with the Conquistadors that he has, I think there's not much that he can do against it.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, Meadow just getting pushed back, losing
Slowly but
everything.
steadily. Yeah, there we go, GG. That's no surprise.
Yeah.
But he did well. We gotta give him the credits. I mean, he
Yep.
held on 48 minutes that we're in with 30, I mean, less than 40 villagers. That's something pretty difficult to achieve. And
without
But
losing his economy,
Yeah.
no, without losing either his economy or his army, he would have won. Without losing one of them, he probably still would have won. But losing the sort of 15 villages, and then directly after losing the 20 plumes, like if those 20 plumes had survived, then I still think he would have won despite losing his entire economy.
Yeah.
Because that critical mass would have just the more numbers you outnumber the enemy, the more you obliterate them.
Yeah.
And he did was killing Stark in the first few fights anyway. But with 20 extra plumes, Stark's army would have gone down a lot faster, and he would have been able to kill all the Magnos initially and get into the economy. So that was patrolling in front of the enemy gate when you know there's Magnos around. I'm not sure about that move.
Indeed. Yeah, it's still good news. I'm kind of happy that Metal lost this one, not because I have anything against him, not at all. It's just that we are able to see the last matchup here in this best of 5. This ties once again 2-2, and this last game will be decisive. And for all the people wondering, just type in !bracket without an S in the end, and then you can just see for the other scores and the upcoming matchups, just for information about this little tournament of the Arena Specialists and Friends. So yeah, cool stuff for sure. GPN saying Stark might pick Chinese. Okay. Interesting guess. I mean, why not? It's certainly a strong civilization, and if he really wanted to go for some kind of smush, it could be working, or if he wants to go for some late game with, I don't know, with a decent combination with this super versatile civilization, could work as well. Let's see. MetalTurk again, probably. Well, the thing is, oh yeah, true. So game number 4, you had to choose. I was just thinking as Metal has chosen Turks once, but it's actually the rule only applies for game 4 and 5. So just for information, guys, game 4 was Turks, Man, Spanish, or Chinese, and game 5, of course, again, but this time not the civilization from game 4. Therefore, Chinese for Stark would make sense. What would you choose, Timo? Which civilization do you like the most out of Turks, Man, Spanish,
So is
Chinese?
the only thing he's not allowed to do just repeat the set from the previous game. So he's allowed to
Exactly.
choose Turk, Spanish, Chinese,
Exactly.
Meadow, and Stark, the other 3. Ooh, well, I imagine Stark will probably go for mines.
Okay.
And if he goes for Mayans, then that definitely reduces the power of the Turks. Mayans being one of the better civs to deal with the Janissary, like they're better dealing with Conks.
Yeah.
If so, I imagine Metal may try to go for Chinese, because it will eventually go to, if it lasts that long, go to Chukunu Ram, in which case the Chinese just win. Picking Spanish or Turks, he may decide to do, but I imagine Stark will probably go Mayans.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't fully know what Stark does. He just does things and it works.
Somehow it does, right?
Yep.
That's for sure. I mean, it's always impressive to see this guy. I guess Stark's main specialty. I mean, they say. I also agree that he's an extremely strong macro player. Um, just like Melkor in this case. But especially about Stark, it's the decisions that he makes, I guess. I mean, also the small decisions, where he goes, what kind of strats he goes for, how he adapts. Every time, that seems to be kind of the game winner, because many people say, he's not the fastest player, he's not the biggest micro player, whatnot. But I guess its decisions is nearly always perfect. Even though we may not understand it every time, it somehow works out for him.
Yep.
True, true. So what about the comments here? Stark will probably pick Turk since he can't Spain, okay? And Metal will pick Spanish because knowing that, but that's just my assumption. Stark can't play the boom game with Maya, so why would he pick them? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I guess it's hard to anticipate.
Well, I think picking Mayans is more because they're a better counter to Turks and Spanish. I could easily imagine him going Chinese. The Chukanu just being an all-round good unit versus Plumes, Conks, and Janissary, especially once you got Bracer. So, and then the Chukanu Seadram beats the Conk Seadram, the Janissary Seadram, and the Plume Seadram. So, and then bombard towers like cavalry, everything that Stark dreams of.
Basically, right. Spec delay started 1:30, and in a couple of seconds it'll be time, guys, for the last match here. Game number 5 between Stark and Metal on Arena. Round number 1, so to speak. Yeah, now I'm really curious what we'll be seeing. 20 seconds, there we go. Alright, I got everything set up. So, people are starting to root Hisumi saying, let's go Papa Stark. What about the others? Who are the others rooting for? I asked myself. And while I'm doing that, I'm also tuning in right now. There we go. So, welcome everyone. My name is Demis Red and I'm joined by Timotheus. And we both are casting the last match here, the last game of the best of 5 between Metal and Stark. And we are going to see Turks versus Maya. Okay, quite accurate. So I like that. I like that. So why don't you just go ahead, please, and describe one of the players' base, and then we can carry on.
So I'm going to start with Stark.
Of course.
He's got a really good map. He's got Backstone. His 2 secondary golds are both back, which is very useful. And even his main gold, like it is forward, but it's far enough from the big wall that it could almost be perceived as back as long as a forward castle isn't placed right beside the wall. So overall, a very strong map from him. As mines, he'll be able to lure his deer no problem because they are stronger in the feudal age, the Dark Age, and Castle Age, except by that time will be irrelevant. So he'll look to lure his deer in Dark Age with the great map. His secondary stone, not great, but still not bad. It's not directly in front, and with a quick wall between the right side of the wood there to this bottom going straight down, he will be able to protect it fairly handily, and his Mayans cheaper walls, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Taking a look at Metal's map, he does have a secondary gold back, and he does have one of the extra gold mines, which is going to be very useful.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of his mines are a lot worse. So his big stone close to the wall, his big gold closer to the wall than St4rk's, and then another of his secondary golds and his secondary stone are forward as well. So his map definitely not on the same level as St4rk, but at the same time it isn't bad either. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm. True, true. I'd say so as well. I completely agree. I think that the base of Stark is simply better, but there's enough potential for Metal to profit from the resource that he has at home. But what about the stone once again? So this first stone you said as well, it's close to the edge of his base there, and the second stone on the left-hand side for Metal definitely doesn't look good in that concern. If he wants to go full aggressive. With the Turks, I assume that he will go for Janissaries once again. But then we have
Yep.
to keep in mind Stark with the Mayans. So you said it as well. With the Mayans, you could technically do everything to counter the Turks here. How do you think this game could then proceed, keeping this in mind?
So I imagine Meta was stuck with heavy Janissary
Mm-hmm.
Magno, because Janissary with Magno support is definitely better than Plumed Archer with Magno support,
Mm-hmm.
because the Janissary just destroy the Magnos that bit faster and they have more range.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine St4rk will start with Plumed Archers and maybe try to do a good bit fast advance just to get the bracer and the chemistry. And once he does that, then the Plumed Archers do very well against both Janissary and Magnos, and he doesn't have too much to worry about. And then with the ideally for him slightly fast up, you'll probably
Mm-hmm.
try to look to get a forward castle,
Yeah.
and start trebbing and get into the economy with plumed archers, because plumed archers in the eco, while doing less damage output than Janissary, are much more annoying to chase, and they're just fine at killing villagers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll see a Janissary push from Metal, St4rk starting with Plumes, maybe trying to do a bit fast up to get Bracer, push back forward cast with Treb. But St4rk, so we could also just do defensive Plumes to boom, his map certainly would allow it. And man's, yeah, Elite Plumed Archer definitely never pleasant to fight unless you've got a
Mm.
siege onager civ, and Turks don't even have onagers. But they've got 3 Hussar, and 14 range cannons, both which aren't bad.
Which aren't bad at all, you're right. I mean, really, that's actually a huge profit then that they could have due to this advantage. So that's true indeed. And there was also talk about the relics here in this case. Sumi was asking what you think. It was actually addressed to a GPN here. But maybe just looking at the relics here position-wise, I think this time it's a bit more fair concerning the distribution position-wise. Just Metal once again having a bit of an advantage concerning that relic in the south. Slightly to the right, maybe closer to Metal then. But this time
I
I
would say
think.
that
Uh,
it's the closest relic distribution we've seen
hmm,
in the game so far.
true.
So on a whole, it's quite even.
Hmm,
I would favor St4rk a small bit, just a
hmm,
small bit. While overall the relics are slightly closer to metal,
yeah.
um, the is so the the one above St4rk, the one above metal, the one directly below metal, all of those are sort of fair game. It's obviously advantage to the different players, but it's fair game. The
Hmm,
one sort of in them on the south sort of east corner, that one's to metal slightly, but it's so far out that it doesn't make too big a difference.
hmm,
Whereas that I think the relic from St4rk on the south side is just the easiest. It will be the easiest of the relics to take, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
true. It's just a
but
little
but
walk.
it's really close overall. Like this is as fair as you're gonna get. No, there's no clear advantage. Both should have a easy time taking 2 of the relics and then fighting for the 3rd, if they decide to do at all, which they may not.
Which they may not, right. True. Could be. For now, what we can see is the thing to be expected, at least from Metal. He has 3 villagers on stone, an indication that he wants to go for a castle. And for Stark, it's
is
not the
doing
case.
the barracks.
Mhm.
So it seems like either Stark is doing fast siege tower, which is the most likely possibility,
Yeah.
or just building crossbow and defending. Metal killing the Eagle is going to be very big.
Of course.
That's a very good encounter for Metal, and it really helps him. So archer range, double archer range incoming. So it seems like Stark could be looking to do just double range crossbowmen into a more format. Interesting decision. It will make the Maginal Janissary from Metal a lot easier. And the other thing that will really hurt Stark is that house. Since he's not in stone, he's not going to be able to stonewall that house in, which will provide Metal a very easy time getting in.
Exactly. True indeed.
So based on, I don't like this decision from Stark. I don't think it will prevent a Ford Castle if Meadow decides to do it. I think Meadow would be very foolish to do a Ford Castle. But definitely make Meadow's time a lot easier if he decides to go the Janissary Maginal, because crossmen aren't nearly as fast.
Yeah, you're right with that one. I mean, if he really wants to go for that siege tower hub, could be some. I mean, at least in the front of Metal Space, there's some potential, right?
He is sending 2 villagers. But Metal is sending his scout across, and it is very likely he'll see it.
Yeah.
It is.
That's really important, because if he sees that, he can then do something in his base, at least go for a secondary wall with buildings, or even go for palisades if you want to.
This is huge. This is huge. He doesn't want this scout to die, but that is really
the knowledge that he gains from that.
Yeah, the fact that he sees Stark going forward means he's going to re-wall his base. I don't know what Meadow is doing. He needs to re-wall his base. That's a disaster.
Wow.
Like, what is he doing?
Okay, he's getting a monastery there, interestingly, but no further buildings.
What is he doing? Good. He is walling his base now. And now he's in the castle.
Yeah.
He's just far enough that this entire siege workshop is going to be absolutely useless. The castle go up long beforehand. That was though he'll need to get loom. He needs to get loom. I disagree strongly with players when they try to do that type of Ford Castle without loom. You lose, especially when there's crossmen around, already losing one villager. Getting a siege workshop is a good idea, but he needs to be very careful. Stark already, no, Stark's losing 2 villagers. This is, or siege tower coming up. This is a disaster by Metal.
Wow,
absolute disaster.
Unbelievable, actually. I mean, you've just said it was actually, you were so sure, because common sense-wise, this castle would have been up. But you're right, due to the lack of loom, first of all, and also quite late reaction time there. This castle is not up yet, and now we can see here the siege tower is about to go in. Therefore, the first task that the crossbows need to deal with is this Mangonel, and afterwards, easily done would be the monk. Oh, there we go, the monk dies instantly. 100 gold down the drain.
Yeah, Meadow needs to get another Magna. Oh, he's getting a Scorpion. This is catastrophic for Meadow.
Yeah.
That castle should have gone up with no problem.
Yeah, indeed.
The Scorpion is doing a lot of damage, and that's very good for getting that much damage. But taking a lot of damage when there was no need, and losing 2 villagers, there was absolutely no need to take any of that damage in the first place.
So
all you need to do is build the castle 1 step further back, and he wouldn't have even needed to get the siege workshop in the first place. And he's going to lose another villager. No, Meadow, not like this.
Wow, another villager there.
The fact that Stark went crossbowman and is only making the 2nd TC now still doesn't put Meadow in a bad position, though. Stark's economy isn't it's better than Metal's, but it still isn't great.
Mhm.
So Metal, actually, they are equal villages. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, 35 to 34.
So Metal, I would still favor his position. He just need to do a few quick walls. He can't let Stark keep waltzing around in his base with the siege tower. All it takes is a few houses, palisades, whatever.
Mhm.
And it's yeah.
Wow,
Getting a constant siege towers get into his base is going to be a disaster for him.
for sure.
And
For
it's
sure.
not difficult to stop. He knows that Stark has the siege tower, and he
Mhm.
should see it coming. But he doesn't, and he's going to lose another 4 villages.
He really is, now that you said it. And with the Eagle Scouts, of course, he can deal with Siege way better.
Yep, this is already GG. Yeah, Metal had a clear win.
Wow.
Based on I disagreed with Stark's strategy. It shouldn't have worked. It could have worked if Meadow didn't see it. Given that Meadow saw it, there's no way it should have worked.
This is really unbelievable at this moment. The Scorpion is about to get down. There we go. And all of a sudden, really gloomy situation that Metal is in. Wow.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of villages, a lot of no guys on wood. He's going to have to use it heavily. Stark's got egos there, which means he can even kill the Maginal potentially.
Good stuff.
Yeah. This is Metal will have to pay attention to the egos. Good micro first shot. But the
Maginal's down.
Janissary losing at point blank, that's something which I don't understand why it happens. When they're right beside something and they miss, it doesn't make any sense. But Stark, clear advantage.
That's for sure. I mean, look at the villager difference now, 6 villages.
Yep.
And also army-wise, Stark's still leading. He's just being chased by Maginal there, his siege tower. He needs to keep that one alive just to have a chance to go into the space. If he wants to continue that, he's still producing more crossbowmen. Therefore, Stark still has ambitions to continue this raid, as he feels that he has a kind of momentum in which he could deal more damage, one could assume. But if we look at Metal Space there, he has so many villages on gold. That's once again unbelievable. Oversaturate there for sure.
Stark getting another siege tower. That being said, Metal can still pull this back if he just spams 4 Maginals Janissary. He'll be able to push really quickly. Crossmen just don't cut it when dealing with Janissary Maginal. And he knows Stark is setting another siege tower, so with a good shot from a Maginal, he could well be able to deal with it. And his map is still fine. And if he can micro against this siege tower,
siege tower micro indeed. Look at this, he's dodging the shots.
But now he just really needs to do it on push. He needs to spam a bunch more Maginals. And this is where Metal has to do serious damage, which isn't impossible. Stark should probably look to get more guys on stone. In fact, Stark should probably look to get 12 guys on stone right now, just to be able to quickly get a castle before Metal even is able to do any damage. Siege Workshop coming out, but with Janissary backing, shouldn't be that bad. Stark does have another siege tower ready, and Metal still hasn't learned his lesson and walled that.
Oh my
Metal.
god.
Metal.
Unbelievable, but it's still happen. It's actually about to happen again. The woodline is going to be raided.
It.
Oh my god.
Metal sees it, and he's not doing anything about it.
Okay, now he's going away with his villagers. He saves his villagers at least in the set of space.
But Stark is now a lot more heavily on stone and will be able to get a castle in plenty of time.
Yeah, true.
I do like Metal, but I gotta say that the 3 game he's more than likely going to lose this game, and the 3 games he's lost has been more from just getting in a way better position and messing up than anything else.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, just thinking of that Ethiopians and Tudon's game once again.
And even the man game, even him being Mans, he was in a way better position.
Yeah, true.
now he's way behind in. At least he got a good shot in those crossmen, but still it's a bit too late. He's got a wood economy outside. Stark's still doing siege tower. There's a bunch more crossmen. Things looking very, very grim.
Yeah, to say the least. More crossbowmen incoming there from Stark on the left-hand side. Let's see how this one will evolve. I mean, look at the resources here. Metal is now about to deplete the
On the way to
first squad in
Imperial Age.
front. Oh, and
But
also
Metal is on the way
Age.
to Imperial Age.
Ooh, he has lost all the expos. Stark on
And
the left-hand side.
that is definitely something which is good for Metal. Stark losing both his army and Metal on the way to Imperial Age, it will allow him to get some fast cannons, and so he still does have a chance.
Yeah.
Turks obviously having such a strong early Imperial with free cannon, the ability to add free SR
Yeah.
for free. Events in the last small bit have lined up a lot more for him. But he's going to lose a Janissary and a Maginal and another Janissary, so he needs to conserve his troops, losing a lot of guys. But look at his economy. He's going to try to do something like 3 Siege Workshop Cannon. Like, you can just see it coming. And it could easily work. He should try to get the armor for his Janissary. It makes such a big difference against Plumes though.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Let's see. Could work.
Yeah, 0 eco. In terms of food, really, he's got 5 farmers. Oh, no, he's got 6 farmers and 1 idle, which could be taking berries. But he is Turks, so we will be seeing a lot of cannons. And it could easily work.
It could work indeed, that's for sure. He still has this momentum. You said it. With Imperial Age now for Metal, he has this spike of power that he could go for. And let's see about this. Bombard cannons are on their way. He's also trying to wall off this left-hand side of his base with the houses, at least to block off.
And he is getting the armor, starting to get the armor for his Janissary, which is a good move.
Certainly.
He'll be able to forward the second armor if he chooses to, which he definitely should look to do it. Getting all the armor, that would leave his Janissary with 4 Pierce, which is suddenly respectable. And he's now starting to produce cannons. He's third. If he buys 200 wood, he'll be able to produce a 4th. The Magnum will definitely hit up against the Ram. He's definitely still in this game just because of the early power spike of the Turks. His economy is terrible, but if it works, it works.
Yeah, that's true indeed. I mean, we've seen it in the Mayans game as well, in which he was with less than 40 villagers. I mean, we know that Metal could technically do it. It just depends on how well Stark will do it. If Stark is actually able to go for some counter raids, because if he actually managed to lower the number of villagers even more, as we can see here, is just Metal is just next to his base with the majority of his villagers. Of course, that would be devastating. But all in all, Metal indeed still in this game, and he could definitely go for some important moves here just to defeat Stark. Let's see if this is going to work. For now, the game is paused though. Am I correct? It should be, right?
Yep.
Alright, that's cool. So, Shadalk, what's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome. And now the game is about to continue, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's see about the next moves here. So the bombard cannons, as you've mentioned, they're out, and now attacking the castle of Stark. Slowly but steadily, Stark under pressure, but he has a decent amount of plumed archers already in his castle. That's due to the fact, I mean, a couple of them are low HP due to the fact that they were hit by the Mangonel, and now we got fortified walls as well.
Something that Metal probably would have wanted to do is keep 1 or 2 Janissary on the opposite side just to prevent expansion, or even just walling that himself would have been a useful thing. But if Metal can get enough cannons, then cannons Maginals, and if Stark's not on the way to Imp, so Metal still has a chance. Not a very large one, but if he can spam enough cannons, Maginals, and keep producing Janissary, then he could be able to do some damage. His biggest worry is the plumed archers coming across. However, the thing is, Metal only needs to stonewall that one segment leading out to his new economy, and he's protected. So as soon as he sees the guys in his base, he'll need to wall that. And if he manages to wall it, then
Enemy villagers coming, trying to build a stone gate. Won't last long. Now, this is where Metal needs to be careful not to suicide his troops. Definitely important.
Yeah, that's for sure, as he is so low on villager count. Of course, he won't be able to afford a fast reproduction of these Janissaries at all, to say the least. But he is going forward.
He should look to destroy another stone wall segment. Having just one stone wall is a disaster for him.
True. So what about those? The
And
Plumed
the
Archer's not
Plumed
going
Archer
inside.
are now in his base. So he at this point, Metal, the thing that is definitely mandatory is he needs to wall that one segment leading to the outside. If he's able to do that, then
He's now closing it.
Stark is almost Imperial though, and Magno's coming to the Janissary, but he sees them and he should be able to snipe it fairly handily.
Okay. Okay, good.
And now the castle, if he can take the castle down quickly and get to the next castle, then and he does have a few Magnos in his base, which I think he probably forgot about.
True indeed. He's attacking the Mangonels now. Stark is making sure that these are destroyed, but he's not having any impact on the villager count of Metal. That's of course unfortunate for him.
And Metal just needs to keep his villagers alive. He shouldn't overextend with his one Maginal, and now he just needs to take down the castles and keep producing cannons and Maginals. So if he can keep producing them and Janissary, and just put it on up enough pressure, then he still has chance. He is taking that castle down really fast. I mean, 5, 6 cannons. They do definitely do the job. He'll have to worry potentially about eagles, but it doesn't look like Stark is doing eagles. So now he just needs to take the next castle, and I think Metal may even have this game. He is able to put a lot of pressure right now, and he does have a lot of Magnos, and he's got 8 cannons, and those definitely do take buildings down really fast, and Stark hasn't expanded too much across the map. So at this point, I think it is probably Metal's game. It may not look either way, the next engagement that happens would definitely decide things, but I think Metal has got this game. He's got so many cannons, so many Magnos. This is exactly what he needed to do. Start getting a lucky hit with the Trebuchet, but losing one Magno, killing a castle, everything going down in Stark's base. He is losing everything. And now he's got no protection for his eco, and Metal is going to have a field day in his economy.
Yeah, that's impressive how Stark is not able to reinforce army-wise. GPN also pointed out, actually Stark would have made use out of those plumes inside of the that are trapped inside the base of Metal. If he had them inside of his own base, he could have at least done something micro-wise. But I don't see too much of military anyway from Stark. I wonder why. He has a couple of res there, and he's going for more archer ranges now, as it seems, in the back of his base. Will he be able to succeed is the question, because as you've mentioned, Metal is slowly but steadily destroying everything inside of Metal's base.
As long as Metal conserves his cannons and the micros and stuff. One of the problems that just has happened is he's allowed Stark to rewall one cannon though, and that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But Metal really needs to destroy that last wall segment. He needs to take away the ability of Stark to keep him out. I don't think the Captrams will do too much, just due to the fact that he's got 5 Magnos there. With a bit of micro, the Captram should just go down, but he's got 9 cannons. Like, Captrams are not meant to fight that, but he really needs to open that wall segment. He really needs to allow reinforcements to get in. But it's definitely a good call from him destroying the siege work, allowing any more things. The siege ram definitely is useful for Stark, but with a bit of micro, I think he should be able to manage. Metal probably looking to get. If I were Metal, I'd get artillery. I'd sell wood and get artillery right now. That, in my opinion, is the most important thing he can get. I don't. Already, he's lost 2 cannons and a Magnum. That's catastrophic.
Yeah, if he had more range, it would have been way better for him.
Losing 4 cannons, like that already is something that shouldn't have happened.
that shouldn't have happened, and that's good. That's such a huge blow, losing 4 cannons and a Maginot. It's just part of the critical mass which he's losing. Definitely not ideal for him. And if he can just keep destroying the siege workshops before they keep building, producing Maginots, I don't know what he's doing.
Whoa, he even killed his own cannon there with his own Mangonel with friendly fire. Wow. Metal, what are you doing,
Losing
man?
another Maginot, losing another Maginot, losing another Maginot, again losing a cannon. Just it's his game to win. It's his game to lose, and he's just losing everything with no micro, and I don't understand it.
I don't understand either. Wow, he just actually...
And I don't understand his decision to get a castle. I honestly do not understand why he's getting a castle. It does nothing, and artillery is a much better option. Because it allows him to snipe the castle without fear of trebuchets behind. And it gives him that bit extra time to adjust to whatever Metal is doing, Stark's doing. And now Stark is pushing forward with a bunch of siege ram, and Metal needs to micro against the skirmishers, but he missed the first shot. Definitely an engagement that Metal cannot afford to lose, and I don't know why he's fully going for the skirmishers instead of the siege rams. Siege rams definitely being the more dangerous of the options, and yeah, this is definitely suddenly looking much better for Stark again.
I actually cannot believe this.
Stark now has full control of the map. Metal giving Stark that extra time he needed to catch up, and Stark now has this game 100%. Doing a siege ram push on the Metal's base with skirmisher backup. Cannot believe that Metal let him back into the game again.
I'm out of words, man. How did this happen? He was about to lose, but he gave away his army so easily. Especially those
6 cannons and 4 Maginots to a castle and a trebuchet.
Yeah,
is just
this shouldn't be.
No words.
Yeah, true indeed, true indeed. It's really unbelievable, and at the same time Stark is now approaching and going for the base of Metal, trying to do some more damage there. Why not? It will work, as Metal is also going for Stalas. Now probably he's going to make use of the res that he has and maybe going for Hussars there. Why not? But yeah,
Stark's resources, he's 166 pop. He's got a lot of wood now. He just needs to spam a lot of farms. He can research Halbidia. His skirmishers need chemistry, and then once he gets that going, Metal is out of options.
Yeah, and now those long trapped plumed archers doing work, killing each of Metal's villagers inside of this base. Of course, that's a huge blow again, because we have to keep in mind the reason why Timo and me are actually freaking out here is because not only is this army being killed and destroyed so easily inside of the base of Stark, the problem is Metal is also not able to reinforce that easily, as he's just stuck there with less than 60 villagers compared to 125 villagers of Stark. So yeah, it looks really gloomy now for Metal once again.
This is definitely GG. He's out of options. Stark just has too much map control. Siege ram, Metal doesn't have a good option to deal with it. And yeah, he lost his chance. Which is actually kind of sad, because I was hoping all the arena guys would wreck all the friends. And he should have. All 3 games he had by far the advantage, and then in sort of twice in each game he made either bad decisions or just Titanicked. And it does make me sad, because I was hoping. I like Stark, but I was hoping Metal would win just for the arena clowns.
Yeah, man, it's certainly impressive what Stark does here, or also Metal's decisions here. Maybe really not the best that he chose to go for. And yeah, it's just a matter of time until things will turn really, really ugly for Metal. I mean, it's already really ugly. Looking at the resources,
he's lost his 4 castle, and Stark now is essentially 200 pop. He isn't yet, but he will be in a sec. Metal's economy is what economy?
Yeah, what economy? That's true. He has 0 villagers on gold, and therefore doesn't look good at all, does it?
Nope. And at this point, it's just a matter of time till he calls GG.
Yeah.
Stark not even bothering taking the relics at this point. He's got 2 beside him. For him, the game, he knows that he's won the game at this point, so he can take it a lot easier. He's even getting a TC inside Metal's base.
Exactly, just to get this gold on the right hand side. I just checked for Metal's view here. He didn't even know about the gold very far back in his base on the right hand side, but at this moment it doesn't work. It doesn't have to do with this anymore. The game is over, that is why, and Metal is out of the tournament, it seems. He says good luck next, therefore Stark is the one proceeding, going for the next round. If you wonder how it's gonna be like, people just type in exclamation mark brackets without an S, and just to see how the scores are at this very moment. For now we can tell that Stark has won this very matchup in an incredible way. Wow.
Indeed.
So just for the sake of correctness, I'll just update the scores. It's 3-2-2. There we go. And that's it. Really impressive gameplay here for sure. Wow, I'm amazed, man. I'm amazed. Okay. So yeah, is there anything you want to point out once again concerning this matchup here between Stark and Metal? As a recap, so to speak.
Yeah, so Metal in all the games had a clear advantage early on. And I think it's just Stark's post-imp or imp played and booming ability just paying off in the games that he lost. Very good play and able to utilize the mistakes made by Metal. And every single time he capitalized well on them. And yeah, able to finish off the games very clearly in each case.
I think so as well. I mean, it's so interesting to see that now on a couple of occasions, Metal was the one going for 1 TC only, even though we say, okay, arena players are the ones who knows best about their macro in terms of going for 3 TCs normally and whatnot. So in especially 2 occasions, Metal went for 1 TC setup straight, and he had the edge for a longer time then, but due to various reasons, he gave it away once again, due to the fact that Stark was able to deal with the incoming threat, and not only because of that, because mostly his economy was so strong in the end, and therefore it was just a matter of time. In the end, Stark was the winner then. He was the one with the resources. Really, really interesting there for sure, gotta say.
Very different styles from both players.
Indeed, but of course, really, really entertaining. Even though Metal has lost, I have to say it was really impressive how he played, especially those 1 TC strats there. It was actually well done, and due to little reasons, he lost it, of course, but still something that not many people can do, that's for sure. So we gotta give him the credit for that, for sure.
No, Metal definitely had very strong games. It was just, I'm not sure if it was letting his concentration slip or what was the deal. In every single game, in my opinion, he had a clear advantage, and he just not necessarily being able to make the correct decisions hurt. It's in the 2-on-1 and just certain micro elements in the last game there, and in the one where he was mines and lost his army, just slight micro errors which had a ripple effect.
Indeed. That's for sure, man. You're absolutely right with that one. Yeah, those little micro things also in the end, especially when going for some kind of army-based composition. I mean, with the focus on the army, was really important not to lose the military numbers that he had, and didn't work.
I mean, just the last game, I was very impressed with Metal. He sort of Titanic at the beginning, let Stark get in his economy, just deny his castle, do a bunch of damage, kill a bunch of his villagers, and yet despite that, he should have still he got into a position where he should have still won the last game, which is very impressive.
For sure.
So yeah, both players playing very strong. Some mistakes, but that happens.
Of
And
course.
obviously, there's going to be a lot of pressure,
Mm,
more so for Metal because this is the arena tournament, and
exactly.
this is his home map.
Yeah,
And
true.
yeah, I definitely feel bad for him because he definitely shows that he is super strong.
That's for sure, man. It's his whole map, and he showed us different variety of strats that you can go for on this map with the civs that he had. And hopefully next time we're gonna see him once again being strong on arena. Maybe who knows? He's certainly on the list of people that I would see on show matches as well. Maybe another 2v2 I'd like to see from him in combination with Stefan, for instance. But Metal's someone certainly to have an eye on, as well as st4rk, of course, and many other players. This is the beautiful thing about this game. There's so many different players on the top level having their own kind of home maps, and that makes the game more of a yeah, entertaining thing to watch. Not always the same.
Yep.
So that being said, just referring to Carol G saying GG's, thanks for casting. You are welcome, of course. And Elish saying great game to watch. I agree for sure. It was really nice to watch it, and of course, thanks to you as well, Timo. It was really nice to have you here, to have the great insights here of a player who's more experienced, not even an intermediate player, but also a professional 2K plus player who knows about the things here. Was really insightful. I really appreciate that you were here for sure, man.
My
Hopefully
pleasure.
not the next time, man. Hopefully not the last time. I mean,
Yeah, thanks for letting me co-cast as well.
of course, man. Anytime, man. Just feel free to let us know. Was really cool. That's for sure. Yeah. So the plan for now is just for the people watching as well. I will continue the stream. My aim is to recast some games of the Legacy Huns. I start with that one. I'll just finish this one. So 3 more matchups to go. I'll do this, but this tournament now, at least for today, is over. As in, this round is over. Next tournament game will be tomorrow, I believe. I saw something in the chat that was, I believe, GPN saying something about what was it, Eddie versus Slam, something like that. We'll see if it's. If my schedule is fine, I'll even cast that one. We'll see about this one. But for now, I say that's it for the arena tournament. And yeah, Timo, it was once again really nice to have you here. And hopefully another time once again. Also, it was really nice. So I can tell to you in person as well. Thanks for the show match. It was really nice having you and your brother there a couple of days ago. Really pleasant to see the games like that. And as just gonna say the same. Hopefully, not the last time. Definitely looking forward to seeing more from you. Also, best wishes for the new team that you have concerning Heresy. All the best for that
Cheers.
one. Definitely, man. I'm really excited to see more esports type of news here concerning the community, and every news that I receive, especially for you guys, involving Eddie, Hera, Spring, also you and your brother. Uh, Great stuff, man. Keep it coming, man. We are all definitely excited to see the games from you, and the more entertaining, the better for all of us. So all the best once again. And yeah, hopefully see you next time once again, man.
Yeah, cheers, man.
All right. So I say I'll just shift over to Legacy of the Hunts. Therefore, let
Yep,
me
see you
see.
around.
Yes, sir, man.
I'll,
So
I'll leave now.
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you as well. So have a nice evening, man. Say hi
Yep.
to your brother, and until next time, man. Okay, guys. So that was it for the arena tournament for today. Any considerations for changing Team Heresy's name to Habibi Cams? Well, maybe if I have a nice sponsor, I go for Habibi Cams, and I'll have a professional team like that. Maybe that's the aim for next year. Let's see about this one. And yeah, shout outs to both st4rk and Metal. All the best. Thanks for this beautiful matchup here. Congratulations to st4rk. Well played to both of those players. It was really pleasant to watch this once again. Great stuff. And yeah, st4rk is in the chat as well. What's up, Habibi? What's up? Alright. He goes for a beer. You deserve that, man. You deserve that for sure. Okay, so I'll just change something here concerning the look of this stream. That is just getting rid of these game settings. Boom, there we go. And also changing the names of the casters, as we have to now make sure it's all adequately done for Legacy of the Huns. We'll continue with the semifinals. My colleague Nobody actually took care of one semifinal match there, as he was there to cast it live. Now we're gonna see some recasts just for me to finish it. I simply don't like it just to start things and not finishing them like that. And my aim is just to go for the next 3 matches then. That is one semifinal, then the how do you call it, the losers final, and then of course the grand final then. Alright, so let me just adjust caster's name and whatnot. There we go. It was really pleasant to have Timotheus here spontaneously, so really pleasant, man. Okay. We'll close this one, and I'll just open a new lobby for the recast. So for those of you who are interested, feel free to continue watching the stream. I'll be around for a couple of more hours. Just gonna load everything and bless you with some music, with some self-made music. Let's go. Alright, so quickly opening the lobby. There we go. I believe I even need to download the grand finals match, as it happened a couple of days ago. What games do you have for us? I'll tell you in a second, for sure. I'll tell you for sure. By the way, guys, if you are happy with what we have done, feel free to follow this channel to see even more. If you liked some kind of personal things here, as in concerning the casters that you've just listened to, as in Timotheus and me. Timotheus is also having his own channel with his brother, that is BRAOE2. They share this channel to bless us with nice team plays, also 1v1s. Definitely worth watching it if you are into watching the point of view of certain players when playing Age of Empires. I also have my own personal channel that is just twitch.tv/demisred. But yeah, most importantly, here on this channel you're gonna see at least every Sunday a lot of stuff, a lot of content, and every time there's a tournament, if the times are good, we are presenting more of those Age of Empires based content. So